No.
Okay.
I was, at the time, I was like 12, so I couldn't have if I even tried.
Gotcha.
I was like too thin to play football, basically.
All right, there we go.
Very first play I remember, 3rd grade, I was the candy man.
The Candy Man?
The candy man.
Do you even know what that is?
No.
I didn't think so.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're talking about Willy Wonka.
No.
Yeah. I got nothing then.
Trent, that was 10 years before the 80s.
That was the 70s?
Early.
I had to laugh like that. By the way, did you see how we lost the Utah-Arizona game? David, they were down like 16-18 at the half.
Box.
I mean, because it's on
tied it, forced overtime.
Right, so it's not, forced 3 overtimes. Can't you just lose by 1?
Did you do the tease?
You're damn right I did.
Thank God we won the tease.
We got 2 out of 3 last night. But talk about your bad
I know.
And when it's the first one, too, it stings. It's like, come on, man.
And what was the spread? What'd you guys get it
5.5.
5.5. And they lost.
They lost by 6.
Unbelievable. But it's funny because just, as upset as you guys were, there was a group of people that had,
oh, yeah,
minus 5.5.
Who watched their 16-point lead disintegrate, and they're going, what in the hell's going on?
Talk about a roller coaster.
But when Utah hits the late 3 to force overtime, they're like, okay, all right. I know that kid misses a 3. They make 2 free throws. It's 5. Maybe Utah scores at the end, but,
Okay, so audition's still not working. So we have a solution.
I will say this. He's right there.
Yeah.
So you need to go in and tell him before the show starts.
Tig?
No.
Or who?
Tom.
Oh, okay. Okay, will do.
And they need to get a new computer.
Well, Chris gave me his login so I can log in as Chris. So we can do the promo and everything. I just can't play the days. I can't do it. I can do the podcast on my laptop just fine. But
Your Knicks were the talk of the trade deadline.
Great work by the Knicks. Great work.
There is a trade out there that I don't understand. Why did Philadelphia send Patrick Beverley to Milwaukee? I would love for someone to explain that one to me. Milwaukee needed perimeter defense.
Well, I think it's probably just he didn't get along with the Sixers. He's not exactly a easy guy to get along with.
But I mean, that when you're signing him.
Right.
He doesn't play well with others.
Here we go.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Top of the morning to you. This is arguably the last one of these for about 100 days. We call it a Football Friday.
Football Friday.
How the heck are you? Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. We've had a lot of these in a row. They've become a staple of our lives. We count on them like morning coffee. Only once a week. But anyway, I'm on a roll. This is it, Mark. This is it. Tough to call it a Football Friday before the draft.
David, this is the last time we'll say Football Friday until August.
So it's not even going to count the Friday of the draft?
I mean,
I say we cheat. I say we cheat. Okay, like a weekend trip to Vegas. We just put it on the calendar. We're going to call it late April. We're calling it a football Friday.
I'm fine with that. People will need it by then.
Yes. Yes, they will. But here we go. Super Bowl 58. But before Super Bowl 58, the NFL handed out a bunch of awards, and we found out who made the Pro Football Hall of Fame. It was a very eventful night in the NFL last night, but apparently not as eventful as how things are going for the Niners this week. And they are unhappy. They should have stayed home, is what they're thinking.
Right.
Who
needs media day?
Could we just fly in, do the media day stuff, and then could we just go back, stay home, fly in Saturday, and play the game Sunday night or late afternoon in Vegas? I mean, what the heck? In case you missed it, so did you ever have this happen to you? Did you ever have the fake fire alarm in the hotel?
No. No, that's not true. I had it happen once.
Okay.
I don't know if it was a fake fire alarm, but I was awakened 2-3 in the morning. I want to say it was Mobile, Alabama, at the Round Holiday Inn there.
The last one I remember, and I've had it happen a few times, the last one I remember actually turned into a really good thing for me. It was the 2018 U.S. Open out on Long Island at Shinnecock. And our hotel was like 40 minutes away. And I did not have a good parking pass for the event. And parking's a mess for Shinnecock. I mean, you could it could take you 2 hours to go 5 miles to park and then get a shuttle to the course. It can be a disaster. And it was 3 in the morning, and I'm standing out in the parking lot. We haven't even started doing the U.S. Open yet. And I'm like, well, this week's off to a great start, and I don't have a parking pass. And the Dave Carbray from Fox, the guy who's responsible for parking passes. I knew him from CBS. I'm like, hey, what are you doing here? He goes, I work for Fox now. I go, oh, I'll be damned. I need a parking pass. He goes, I can get you one of those. And so, after we shot the bull for 30 minutes and they go, hey, this wasn't real. This was fake. Everybody go back to bed. Remember, it's 3 in the morning. I walk in with him and he goes, hey, here you go. I think this is a pretty good one, too. Yeah, I think only the players parked closer. It was like, holy mackerel. It's amazing. I'm going to pull the firearm 2 nights from now, see what I get. Maybe somebody's got a winning Powerball ticket they want to hand me. So, been about 5 years for me. But the Niners, remember, they're still unhappy with the field, complaining about it every day. Every day. They make it sound like they're practicing on like mud. It's so soft, and they hate it. But they're suffering through. And Bosa just said this is just another log on the fire. This fake fire alarm. Apparently, it was like 6:10 in the morning. I mean, that's not that bad.
That's not that bad.
I mean, come on, you're probably getting up within 30 minutes, a half hour?
Well, I mean, I don't know how early they're getting up. I mean, we would have been up for hours, David, but
well, yeah. I mean, for us, we would have been in the bonus hour, for goodness sakes, if that had happened. But so the Niners are miserable. And, everybody's ganging up against them. That's what they're feeling. Everybody's for the Chiefs, which apparently is not the case in Vegas. Apparently, Niners fans have taken over the city. I mean, everybody who's out there is like, I see nothing but Niners fans. And speaking of the Niners, 5 out of every 8 people, Mark, that was our poll question yesterday. We were just asked who you're rooting for. Not who you think's going to win, just who you're rooting for. And 62% said, yeah, I'm rooting for the Niners.
Which I don't know of a time that's ever happened, that the majority of people, we talked maybe the first Super Bowl they were at, they had the majority.
Right. Bill Walsh seemed funny. Forrest Gregg was grumpy. Joe Montana was, the baby-faced, quarterback, and he had heroics in college at Notre Dame. People liked him. They just knocked off the Cowboys, which was a popular win. So maybe the Super Bowl 16. But now, man, people are tired. I will say, I thought Travis Kelce got an answer wrong yesterday. It's tough to get all the answers right. I thought he got an answer wrong. He was asked, why do you think it is that so many people are intrigued or, rooting for, you and Taylor? And he said something about, basically how they live their lives. And come on, dude. I mean, just, how about because she's famous and, you thought you were famous until you started dating her.
Yeah, I had no idea what fame was until I started dating her.
Right. I mean, how about two pretty people? People like pretty people. You're good looking, she's good looking, just what the heck? No. But the way we live our lives, hey, take it easy, big fella. Take it easy. Okay. You're not curing cancer here. All right. You're catching balls. She's singing and dancing. Come on now. Take it easy. Take it easy. There are people running into burning houses. Okay. Take it easy. Just, it will give you a do-over. We'll give you a do-over. You're doing well. You're playing great. Okay. But just come on now. Take it easy. So, but we're ready. This is it. And yesterday we both kind of got off the couch, and we were like Joe Flacco for this game, most of the 2 weeks. And yesterday I think we both got off the couch and said, guess it's time to go to work. We got into the game yesterday, Mark.
Finally. It took me a while. Prop bets and futures and all kinds of different exotic Super Bowl bets got me fired up. I don't know what it was for you, David, but I spent yesterday diving into The Athletic, reading everything that I haven't read already about the Super Bowl, reading about Spags' defense.
This is the first time that I have really embraced the Brock Purdy story. I don't know why it took till now. I don't know why last year when he came off the bench and was, buried in terms of the depth chart. I mean, anybody but Brock Purdy. And then all he did was lead them to wins, and they made it all the way to Philly in the NFC title game. I don't know what it was. Maybe it's because when, I saw them in person once this year, they got shellacked. I don't know. The first Niners game that I sat down and watched a good chunk of was them in Cleveland. They got shellacked. I don't know what it was, but now this whole, for goodness sakes, the guy's nearly undrafted. And it was offered like one college scholarship, and he's going to play in the Super Bowl against the guy who's already regarded as an all-time great. I mean, this is right out of central casting. I mean, Brock Purdy may not have enough status for us to make this movie. They may go, oh, come on, man. I mean, no, come on. This guy's got to bring a little more to the table than this. He can't take down Superman here. No, really, he can. Nah. I mean, Nick Foles at least was what, a fourth-round pick? Fourth-round pick? I mean, hell, even Brady was the 6th round. What round were you drafted in? Come on.
And all he's done is win. And every time he wins, it's someone else's responsibility, not his. Someone else was the main catalyst as to why he won, even though he's put together 2 fourth-quarter drives here in the postseason.
Now, I mean, for the first 2 hours of each game, he has not looked that great.
No.
He's looked like the resume. He looked like the guy who's damn near undrafted and not many scholarship offers. I mean, hell, the biggest play for the first 2 hours of the game against the Lions should have been an interception. But here he is, looking like he should be parking cars.
He does look like a valet driver. That is a great. Got that clean cut, young face.
Yeah. Hey, it looks like, Eddie Murphy pulling up and saying, hey, look what happened to my car the last time I came here. Take better care of it. Handing him the keys. Yeah, he does. Looks like he should be parking cars. Working at a country club somewhere. How are you doing, Mr. Johnson? Have you had a nice day? Mrs. Johnson, you look lovely. Can I show you to your table? Yeah.
And with a win, Brock Purdy would have his name up with the all-time greats as a Super Bowl winning quarterback. And then he'd get paid. We'll get to that later on down the road.
Yeah, that's for another Football Friday.
That is. That's how we sneak one in March.
Miller and Moulton. But big night for the NFL last night. There was a trade deadline. There were games that were played. We suffered an all-time bad beat as one of our bets last night. All-time bad beat. But, bound to happen. That's why it's called gambling. So, but we'll review a really big and historic night, and in some cases, controversial night in the NFL next. Miller and Moulton, thanks for listening.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
If you're in love and thinking about a diamond, you'll want to hear from my friends Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When purchasing a diamond, you deserve a relaxed, stress-free, and educational experience. You want to have a good time and feel comfortable. You want selection, quality, and value.
At the Diamond District, you'll get it all. With our team of non-commissioned diamond advisors, no one's in a rush. We care only about you and making sure your needs and wishes are fulfilled.
You'll be wowed by our selection of GIA-certified diamonds, stunning diamond bracelets, earrings, pre-owned Rolex watches, exotic ruby, sapphire, emerald, and tanzanite jewelry. There's something for everyone at the Diamond District, and all at the lowest prices anywhere.
Jason and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day. We look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Hey, David, did you get my did you get the email with the
I did, yes. Thank you.
Cool. Kilo's dad. That's how I felt 5 years ago, 6 years ago when the Lions hired. His name is Paul Pasqualoni. Go look him up if you feel inclined.
You mean the longtime Syracuse head coach?
Yes, he was our defensive coordinator for about a year and a half, and it drove me insane because he was senile. And the defense sucked, of course, but
Now, can you log into Chris's stuff to do the play of the day or no?
I guess I could. I just don't. The way I do it is I have my email, and that's how I send the file.
Gotcha.
And it's just all a mess.
Gotcha.
So, if it's still down on Monday, I will do it. I'll take the extra steps to do it. But last night I looked into buying Audition myself just to have it, you know? I didn't realize how expensive it is.
Yeah.
It's like not. I was like, yeah, no.
What, about 5?
I didn't see what it actually was, but I would just kind of Googled it and they said it's like $40 a month.
Okay.
Up to, almost expensive as Disney, Fox, Warner Brothers.
Did you see the betting, the 5-leg parlay that a guy made preseason on the awards? He picked Lamar for MVP, CJ Stroud for Offensive Rookie of the Year, McCaffrey for Offensive Player of the Year, Myles Garrett for Defensive Player of the Year, and for Defensive Rookie of the Year, he picked Jalen Carter, who finished second.
Oh, wow.
Who won Defensive Rookie of the Year?
Will Anderson.
Okay.
The guy made a $5 bet. If Jalen Carter had been Rookie of the Year, he would have won over $680,000.
That is sick. I mean, you are absolutely sick when that doesn't hit. Here we go.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. We have a jam-packed show for you. Lee Sterling in 40 minutes. He'll give out some of his favorite prop bets, maybe a parlay or two, but most importantly, he will have his daughter's information as to the over-under on the anthem, where she has not lost since, well, darn near, the early days of the second term of the Obama administration. All right. That's how good she is about forecasting the length of time that the anthem singer will take to do the anthem.
Her toughest task. I'm telling you right now. I think this is the toughest one she's ever had to do.
And so if you can guess the coin toss correctly on your own, you can have 2 winning bets in your pocket before kickoff. Lee Sterling in about 40 minutes time. Pat Kirwan's going to join us from Vegas. Very early his time. We're going to set the fire alarm. We've got a guy. We're going to set the fire alarm and wake him up. And He'll join us on his cell phone from the parking lot while they're waiting to send everybody back to their hotels. He'll join us a couple hours from now. Got a lot going on. And don't forget, 2 hours from now, final edition of the Swiftie Special. Mark Miller knows more about Taylor Swift than Travis Kelce, at least her music, based on his performance so far this week. Man, you know your Taylor Swift songs.
Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing well. I'm going to start apparently I'm going to start downloading them. It's going to be my new playlist.
You're at like 73%.
Well, and you said going in that you knew 3 songs, right? And
I knew 3.
We hit all 3?
No.
We've hit 2 of 3?
We hit 2 of 3.
Okay.
Oh, really? Oh, the second one. I thought it was just 1. So, okay. Oh, all right. So, so far out of the 40, 2 of them you knew. Okay. Wow. Man, you're guessing really well on the others. So we got a fun show. A lot going on. By the way, we'll talk about the Super Bowl 58 and make our picks and all that stuff. But first, the NFL last night. So they handed out a bunch of awards. MVP Lamar, he got 49 of the 50 votes. Josh Allen got the lone other first place vote. So offensive player of the year, apparently, this is kind of like Trent yesterday. Remember when he said if you could, start a team,
yes,
but you can't start with a quarterback? I guess that's the offensive player of the year. You can vote for anybody on offense except the quarterback. I don't know. Christian McCaffrey won it. Defensive player of the year, Myles Garrett. Offensive rookie of the year, C.J. Stroud. Defensive rookie of the year, Will Anderson. So teammates. 1 year in, that looks like a pretty good trade and first round by the Texans GM, doesn't it?
Like they hit a home run there, David. That seems to be working out.
I thought I saw a really good tweet last night in which it said, wow, guy who went second is the offensive rookie of the year. The guy who went third went defensive rookie of the year. Boy, that guy they took at number 1, he must be really good. Coach of the year, Kevin Stefanski, Cleveland. We have a problem with that?
No, it was actually a tied vote. They had to go to first place. They actually tied in the points. They had to go to first place votes, and he had one more than Ryan's did.
Because otherwise, then the Texans would have been sweeping these awards. Comeback player of the year. Here's the controversy. Joe Flacco. He played 5 games. First off, I would argue if we were going to give it to a quarterback, wouldn't you have given it to Baker Mayfield?
Who finished 3rd, by the way.
I mean.
Or Stafford.
Possibly. Yeah, I mean, he was injured, but I mean, Baker was basically thrown onto the trash heap of the league.
Joe Flacco was on his couch.
And Joe Flacco came out 2 weeks ago and said, listen, you should not vote for me. I was sitting on my couch. Damar Hamlin died, and they brought him back to life. These are Joe Flacco's words. Hamlin finished second. He garnered more first place votes, but he was he was left off like 8 ballots entirely. First, second, third, you get points for all 3. And he was left off like 8 ballots.
Can I ask a question? Because I don't know the answer to this. And the story's remarkable. And I'm going to come off callous. There's no way, 2 ways about it. How many games did Damar Hamlin actually play in this year?
Around the same number as Joe Flacco.
Okay.
Well, we'll have to ask Pat. No, because Pat mentioned this a couple weeks ago. He said, I'm not voting for Hamlin because he hasn't played. I'm sorry.
Right. And I would argue nobody's ever come back from anything more traumatic than this. Okay. And the fact that he was even able to make it back, to make the roster and to play, he would have gotten my vote. I know exactly what you're saying.
And he wouldn't have gotten mine.
And that's, and it's fair. It's certainly fair. I mean, he contributed arguably the least.
He may have had the best comeback of the year, but the player part of it.
Yeah, give him an ESPY or something, which he already got one, actually. But it's like if it's.
Wait. Hold on. Did you just say ESPY?
Yes.
Okay. All right. those don't count.
I know they. I guess
No. They don't count. This is the
Welcome to
equivalent.
today's edition of Old Guy versus Really Young Guy.
Does
Right.
comeback player of the year count? What is that?
Yes.
That's not going to help you in a Hall of Fame case or anything. It's not. It's
No,
a
actually, it will.
formality award.
It will. Trust me, it doesn't come up when you're trying to get someone into the Hall of Fame. They don't go, he won an ESPY in 2024.
Right.
And that's
They don't talk about comeback player of the year either.
I mean, that's like, when somebody can't win actually, it is on their resume. All right. It really is. But that's like, those that compete for like, Emmys and what have you. And they go, no, I don't win Emmys. I win People's Choice Awards. I mean, that's what an ESPY is. But okay. All right. That's my old guy moment of the show.
No. I did. I'm on your side here, David, as another old guy. We have, it seems, one of these a day that trench youth just comes out of the
totally
out of the microphone.
Could you tell me who won comeback player of the year 3 years ago?
Could you tell me who's ever won an ESPY? Because I don't care.
No, I'm saying these two things are the same. Like
I got
they
you.
both don't really matter. You could tell me who won MVP 3 years ago. You can't tell me who won comeback player of the year.
Okay. Cam Hayward of the Steelers won the Walter Payton Man of the Year award. That's pretty prestigious. Here's the other thing that they did last night. They let us know who got in the Hall of Fame. And Devin Hester becomes the first guy to get in basically for special teams. Devin Hester gets in. Julius Peppers, Dwight Freeney. Patrick Willis only played 8 years, was all pro 7 of them. And Andre Johnson, which is interesting because Torrey Holt and Reggie Wayne were also finalists. And so of the wide receivers, Andre Johnson got the votes. The 2 senior committee candidates, both of whom get in basically once they name you a finalist on the senior committee. I don't know if a senior nominee's ever not gotten in. Randy Gradishar, longtime Broncos linebacker, tackling machine, and Steve McMichael. So a lot of Bears here. Hester, Peppers, McMichael. Into the Hall of Fame, Steve McMichael is courageously battling ALS. All right, lived long enough to at least find out that he will, in fact, be immortalized in Canton.
5 of the 7 on the defensive side of the ball.
And Hester and Andre Johnson. Yep. So, now Antonio Gates, the big surprise was Antonio Gates did not get in. People thought he was a slam dunk, pardon the analogy, first ballot Hall of Famer.
I was stunned he didn't get in and Hester got in ahead of him, essentially.
So
Miller and Moulton. Great show lined up for you. The starting 5 when we come back. Thanks for listening.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Do you remember your first kiss? How about your first date? I'll bet you can recall that first Valentine's Day you were together. Or maybe that'll be this year. Valentine's Day is a celebration of love and affection. And this is where the Diamond District shines. Diamonds make a perfect Valentine's gift. Whether you're getting engaged or choosing a beautiful gift to fine jewelry, you'll want to visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District. For Valentine's Day this year, Jason and Todd are offering you 5 years interest-free financing. Choose a beautiful diamond bracelet for $1,500 and you pay $25 per month. Stunning diamond earrings for $5,000 and you pay only $83 per month. Valentine's Day starts with Jason and Todd at the Diamond District and ends in romance as she unwraps her beautiful new diamond bracelet, stunning diamond earrings, or magical gemstone jewelry, including emeralds, sapphires, rubies, tanzanite, and more. Jason and Todd look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to their Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung has successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida for over 30 years. As a former prosecutor, the information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, a criminal matter, or involved in an auto accident, call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung. I'm a local attorney with local knowledge to assist you through the process. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in Fort
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Hey, Trent.
Yeah.
Are you interested in going to spring training games?
Of course.
Okay. I have a buddy who has season tickets to, I think, the Braves, the Twins, and the Red Sox. So he's always got extra spring training tickets.
Okay.
Is it okay if I give him your number?
Of course.
Okay.
Sounds great.
So you may get a text.
Wow, did nothing happen today?
In history? Are you doing the
Nothing.
Today was the day.
Nothing. I'm in the 70s and I've got nothing. I got three things. I'm at 1980. There we go.
Yes, Barstool Sleeper. That's exactly how I feel about it in the Twitch chat room.
So, David, Madonna's Like a Virgin went #1 today, but so we're in high school. Sister Connie is one of our teachers. She's the only nun left.
Right.
And somehow it comes up to where Sister Connie went to college. And she says, I went to Madonna College. My buddy David Miller, without missing a beat, goes, oh, Like a Virgin. I get it.
That's outstanding.
To a nun.
To a nun.
Motley Crue does a cover of that song. It's actually not bad. So, real question. If Hester doesn't return the opening kickoff in the 06 Super Bowl or 07 Super Bowl, whatever, for a touchdown. You think he makes the Hall of Fame?
No.
I don't either. I think that moment was so big that it put everyone on notice. This is the greatest punt returner of all time, kick returner. Now, here's the other question. So if that opens the door for special teamers, how many do you think Justin Tucker makes it in?
Yes.
Kickers had already made it.
Yeah. Justin Tucker's
really?
Hall of Famer.
Oh, I didn't know kickers were in.
Yeah, there's, I think, a handful of kickers who are in.
Not
Okay,
one
here we go.
Super. Oh, my.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network.
22 minutes away from Lee Sterling. Some fun prop bets, some of the bets he likes, and his daughter will tell us whether the anthem singer will go over or under their allotted time. She hasn't missed one of these for a decade. That's 22 minutes from now. Right now, it is time for
The Starting Five. 5 stories you need to know. It's the Starting Five on Miller and Moulton. Here's number 1.
the newest members of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Julius Peppers, Dwight Freeney, Patrick Willis, Andre Johnson, and Devin Hester. The first guy to get in basically as a return man. We've had a few kickers. We've had a punter. Devin Hester. Mark, do you think he opens the door for, say, a veterans committee to take up the case of a Billy White Shoes Johnson?
That's interesting. I don't think so, because I think there's enough backlog of players who are deserving. I'm stunned that Hester got in.
Do you think Hester getting in will knock down the door now for Steve Tasker, who's the other side of it? He was known for covering kicks and was regarded as the best in the league for about 7-8 years doing it.
Yeah, I don't think so. But I am tougher on these special teams players than most. I would have been a no on Hester.
The senior committee, Randy Gradishar and Steve McMichael will get into the Hall of Fame. Gradishar, a tackling machine for the Broncos in the 70s. McMichael, part of the famed Bears defense. 8 or more sacks, a whole bunch of years from a defensive tackle position. There's only a handful of guys who have done what Steve McMichael has done from that position. McMichael courageously battling ALS and has lived long enough to at least find out that he is getting into the Hall of Fame. There are many doubts that he will live to induction day, but at least Steve and his family finding out the good news. Antonio Gates, a surprise that he did not go in. First year eligible, but he did not go in. The wide receiver logjam continues with Torrey Holt and Reggie Wayne. Jared Allen, who is a sack machine, well over 100 sacks. Usually that's a magic number, gets you in. He's still on the outside looking in. There's a pretty good list for next year. Eli Manning, Luke Kuechly, Adam Vinatieri, Terrell Suggs, Marshawn Lynch, Earl Thomas, Joe Staley, Vernon Davis, Cam Wake, Darren Sproles. There's a lot of really good players. Don't know how many of them are Hall of Famers, but Eli Manning, Luke Kuechly, Adam Vinatieri. A lot of people think those are guys that go in, but we shall see. One other football note from yesterday, Mike Zimmerman is expected to be named defensive coordinator of the Cowboys. Longtime Cowboys defensive coordinator back in the day. And Zimmer's 67 years old. I think he's exactly what the Cowboys need. I think the Cowboys are too soft. I think they need, pardon my French, I think they need a hard ass. I do. I really do. I think they need somebody to walk around all day and tell, everybody says how good you are. You guys haven't done squat. I think, quite frankly, the whole organization needs it. So,
well, they're told by their owner how great they are every day and how much talent they have, and it's just dumb luck that they haven't won a Super Bowl.
Lamar won his second MVP last night. Comeback Player of the Year, Joe Flacco. Bit controversial. Damar Hamlin finished second. Coach of the Year, Kevin Stefanski. Offensive Player of the Year, Christian McCaffrey. Defensive Player of the Year, Myles Garrett. Offensive Rookie of the Year, C.J. Stroud. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Will Anderson, both from the Texans. Walter Payton Man of the Year, Cam Hayward of the Pittsburgh Steelers. A college football note or two, the SEC is going to distribute out $51 million and change to all 14 members, and that's based on revenue from the year before. So it's only going to get bigger and bigger, even with Oklahoma and Texas joining the party. Florida State
still ain't Big Ten money,
and it's not. No,
I mean that's the fact of the matter is that if you're a Big Ten person who's going, oh, I can't believe the SEC. No, the Big Ten still rules the roost.
Yep. Florida State, by the way, files a motion to dismiss the ACC lawsuit. They do so in North Carolina, though, because that's where the ACC filed suit. Good luck there. All right, the NBA trade deadline came and went, and this is difficult for a certain fan base to hear. But apparently the Knicks won the trade deadline. It's very difficult for a Knicks fan to actually comprehend that maybe they've become a fairly well-run organization. That's I need to pull over on the side of the road and catch my breath. But they acquired Bogdanovich and Alec Burks from Detroit for 4 players and 2 second-round picks. Milwaukee added Patrick Beverley from the Sixers. They also traded away Robin Lopez. Meanwhile, the Sixers acquired Cameron Payne from Milwaukee and Buddy Hield from Indiana. Gordon Hayward's going to OKC for 3 players and a couple of second-round picks. And unrelated to the trade deadline, Miami's Hayward Highsmith cited with careless and negligent driving. Coming home from the game Tuesday night, he hit a Good Samaritan who had pulled over and was helping a stranded motorist on the side of the road. And Highsmith hit him. And that gentleman is in critical condition and had to have part of his leg amputated. So cited for careless and negligent driving. Magic beat the Spurs last night, 127-111. Wagner with 34. Dallas beat the shorthanded Knicks, 122-108. Golden State's won 5 of 6. Steph with 42. He had his first 7 threes. And they handled Indiana 131-109. Cleveland's won 16 of 17. They throttled the Nets 118-95. Hey, Milwaukee's 1-5 under Doc Rivers. They were 5-1 in the last 6 with the other guy. But they're playing a lot better defense. Oh, no, wait. They gave up 129 to the T-Wolves last night and lost by 24. Never mind. Denver scored a bunch late and beat the Lakers 114-106. College hoops, one of the best games of the year was at Utah. Utes were down 16 at the half, came back, took a lead, back and forth. Utah hits a 3 late in regulation. They go to overtime. Things are going
worst so well. Thing that ever could have happened to Miller and Moulton.
That's because we had Utah in 5.5. Hey, overtime's going so well, let's go to a second. Hell, this is so much fun. Let's play a third. In the third overtime, Arizona led by as much as 10. Utah cut it to 6 and lost 105-99. So we had Utah in 5.5. Doesn't
That's
help.
a loser.
That is when you lose by 6. But we did have a teaser. We did. We took Utah, teased them up to 9.5, and we took UAB at home against nationally ranked FAU. See, we took the 2 home dogs, unranked, against the 2 road ranked favorites. UAB came through. In overtime, they beat FAU 76-73. So Miller and Moulton may have split our 2 straight up bets, but we won our teaser. Yeah, that's how we're rolling.
We won the suckers bet.
Yeah. I mean, that's like winning an ESPY. Jacksonville, a winner. North Florida, a loser on the men's side. South Carolina remains unbeaten. They beat Missouri by 38. Caitlin Clark was only the second leading scorer on her own team last night. She had a teammate score 42. Caitlin at 27. She's 39 away from the all-time record. Iowa beat Penn State by 18. FGCU won 20th game of the year for the 20th year in a row. That seems impressive. I don't know. Call me crazy. They're in first in the A-Sun. Stetson a winner. And the big three, Miami, Florida, and Florida State, all winners in women's basketball last night. NHL Ovechkin, he scored it third straight game. Ovi scored a goal. He's up to 11 now. That's also 833 for his career. He's 61 behind Gretzky. But the Panthers doubled up the Caps 4-2. This has not been a good start to the post-All-Star break for the Lightning. They lost to the Rangers and lost Sergachev to potentially a season-ending injury. He ended up breaking both his tibia and fibia. And then they go and play the Islanders and get drubbed last night 6-2. You know, Mark, that Patrick Waugh hiring's beginning to really pay off.
Yeah, they drubbed the Lightning last night. Lightning scored first, and then the Islanders just drubbed them.
Boston took care of Vancouver in the matchup of the two best teams in the league. 4 spit.
Scored all 4 in the first, I believe.
And Carolina 5-2 over Colorado. The Avs came east, and that hasn't gone well. All right, to golf. So a PGA Tour in Phoenix. Sahith Theegala, 6 under. He's got a 1-shot lead. LIV's in Vegas. Paul Casey, Harold Varner tied for the lead at 7 under. By the way, Tommy Fleetwood just showed up at the LIV event just to hang out. See some of his Ryder Cup teammates. You know what that does to the whole golf, room and what have you.
Absolutely.
Right. He's in Vegas working with Butch Harmon. So while he was there, he went to see some of his friends. Right. But the big story in golf yesterday was on the Korn Ferry Tour. You heard me, on the Korn Ferry Tour. First off, they're in Bogota. That's
right.
Colombia.
Right.
All right. And we don't mean Columbia, South Carolina, or Missouri. That's in the country of Colombia. Right. That's where they're playing this week on the Korn Ferry Tour. Cristobal del Solar. He's from Chile. He went to college at Florida State. He shot a 57 yesterday.
57.
9 birdies, 2 eagles. I mean, in fairness, it was a par 70, but still a 57, not a 5 on his scorecard. He had a 2, which ironically was an eagle on a par 4. He did not birdie any of the par 3s. Shot 57, didn't birdie a par 3. He had 13 threes and 4 4s on his scorecard.
He asked his caddy, David, on 18, how we doing? And the caddy responded to him, look at your scorecard.
Pretty well. Pretty well. Here's a 7-iron. Right. So there you go. Cristobal del Solar from Chile. 57. Only 4 4s on his scorecard. 13 threes and a 2. And we're told in our Twitch chat room.
Well, that's a fact.
He had a 6-footer for 56. Holy blank. And that at 9 minutes before the hour was...
That was the starting 5 every weekday morning at this time on Miller and Moulton.
We're going to have Keith Smith on a little more than an hour. We'll go through quickly the NBA trade deadline. There were a lot of deals, but there was not a major deal. Knicks made a really good deal. They got two guys who are going to be in their playoff rotation, and that's probably the most that anyone else acquired at the deadline yesterday. I believe, Mark, there was only one first-round pick that was traded yesterday in the NBA. Everybody hoarding their first-rounders.
Right, and, Detroit had made 2 trades. By all accounts, lost both of them and didn't get a first-round pick.
Right.
So, seemingly a very bad day for them, which seems to be routine.
Now, I will say, since Trent's not allowed to speak of them for another few days, they did win their second straight game on the road on this West Coast road trip last night. Okay, they're
Hurting
now
their
up,
chances for lottery picks
right,
as well.
because now they're up to 8 regular season wins. They're like only 1 behind Washington and 2 behind Charlotte and San Antonio.
Mhm.
Right. So they're making bad trades at the deadline, and now they're going to hurt their lottery chances. Right. When is it Tigers season again? When
Soon.
do the Lions play?
Pitchers and catchers, David. Pitchers and catchers.
Whew. And speaking of which, the Dodgers reported yesterday, the Dodgers and Padres are playing a 2-game series in Korea on like March 22nd to actually start the season a week before everybody else. So that's why the Dodgers and Padres will get to work before everybody else. Lee Sterling's going to get to work with his favorite bets next.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
The waterways of Naples are a beauty to behold, and the Bayfront Inn has multiple ways for guests to enjoy the water and have some fun. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn. Something for everyone. On 5th Avenue in Naples.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network. David, how long are you on the Hall of Fame ballot for? 10 years?
No, it's at least 20. You have to be retired 25 years before the senior committee can take up your candidacy, but I think you can be considered for 20, and then there's a 5-year moratorium, and then you go. So I think you don't go directly from the regular to the senior committee, but the senior committee is 25 years. You have to be 5 years retired before they can consider you. But I think you then get 15 years of consideration. Then you have to wait 5, and then the seniors can take up your candidacy.
Okay. Come on, Lee.
Did we ever find out what went wrong with Bryant yesterday? Did he just give you the wrong number?
I'm at a loss. I'm at a loss. I want to call him. Do you have his number?
If it's the one that's on this text thing.
Yeah, it's the only one I got.
Still got a minute. Unless you want, I can call him.
Call him.
Oh, there he is. He's on.
I'm up finally. Okay.
All right.
Okay, bye. All right, bye. Took 7 minutes.
Man, that AOL dial-up you got.
I do remember the day. All right.
If I had the sounder, that's how we'd bring Lee on.
Exactly.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
And joined once again on the final Football Friday of the season by Lee Sterling. He at Paramount Sports, ParamountSports.com, 800-400-9741. You can follow him on Twix, Twitter/X at Paramount Sports. Top of the morning to you, my friend. How are you?
I'm good. Did a lot of traveling. I don't know how you do it, David. I went to Park City over the holidays and then had to go to New Orleans for a wedding and Houston for a party. Over 30 days, I was out of town for 14 days. And I'm like, just let me sleep in my own bed for a couple weeks.
I'm lucky I stay at nice hotels for
Right.
the most part. That is for sure. But so, how much pressure is your daughter beginning to feel the pressure? You know, the first 3-4 years she gets the anthem right.
Right.
It's a cute thing. You know, you
Right.
can brag about your daughter. She's, now she's got people coming up to her in New York City,
Yeah.
when she's waiting tables and they're saying, "Hey, what do you think about the anthem?" I don't know. I haven't studied it yet. I mean, now this is like I know she's trying this whole career acting, performing on Broadway thing, whatever. This is important here.
Right. She told another show. She was actually on another show yesterday. And she said she was honest for the first time. Now, she started betting about 3 or 4 months ago, her and her boyfriend, or her boyfriend's always been wagering, but she's wagering. When I lose a game, you would think that, I'm the worst father, the worst handicapper in the world. But she did tell another show, she goes, I don't know how my dad does it. She goes, this is a lot of pressure. So when she hit it, she was at my house last year. She was in for the weekend. Her head almost hit the ceiling. She jumped that high when she knew she had won.
Well, in this one, Lee, I mean, there was a featured article in The Athletic just on the anthem and Reba McEntire singing it, because she's been singing the anthem publicly maybe longer than anyone who has ever done the anthem at a Super Bowl. And she's done anthems that are under the number and over the number. So the film work that she does, the studying, kind of could take you all over the place. Is there a trend to follow? When you get older, do you sing longer? I mean, what the hell?
So here's what my daughter said. So she found 22 different national anthems on YouTube. She likes Reba a lot, admires her, says she's a storyteller. Now, my daughter said when she starts singing, I don't know anything. I don't have an ear for music. My daughter can hear someone start singing and she'll say, oh, that's a C note. She started on a C. My daughter starts the national anthem on a D. She said Reba in the 80s started on a C. In the 90s on a B. And since 2012, she starts on an A. She said someone starts on an A isn't going to end on a C or D. It's just not going to happen. So she says she feels comfortable in her own skin. Just because it's a national anthem, she's not just going to riff this thing out, and she's going to stay in her wheelhouse. That's what my daughter feels. So 3 of the last 5 have gone over 2 minutes. This is at a very short 90.5 seconds. That's just a minute and a half. She feels it's going to go under 90.5 seconds.
Under?
Under.
So we're going under on the anthem.
Yep.
Okay. Well, Lee, good talking to you. That's all anybody really wants to know.
I know.
I mean, you're over once again. We all get overshadowed by our kids.
Right.
You've been doing this forever, and all
Right.
your Super Bowl bets and what have you.
Right.
And now all anybody wants to know is your daughter and the anthem. So, all right. But you like the Super Bowl for many reasons. You love the prop bets, don't you?
Right. So there's a bunch of player props that I like. I feel that San Francisco wants to make sure they don't fall behind in the first 2 playoff games to Green Bay and Detroit. If they do, they're in trouble. So I think that they're going to run the ball more in the first quarter than they have in the past. Don't want to make a mistake. Deebo Samuel, he got the ball a lot early in the year when he was healthy. In fact, when they beat Dallas, they beat Philadelphia, he was a large part of that success. Over-unders, 13.5 rushing yards. He can go 15, 20 yards in one run. So we'll go over 13.5 rushing yards for Deebo Samuel. They're not saving him. He's been hurt. He's finally healthy again. They're not saving him there. Kansas City's pass defense has not allowed a passer in 20 games, 17 regular season, 3 postseason, to not only throw for 300, not throw for more than 260 yards. And combine that with the fact I think San Francisco is going to run early and probably not have to chase a whole lot of points. I'm going to go under 247 passing yards for Brock Purdy. And then a couple that I like for Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes. I'm going to go under 35.5 yards in his longest completion. Just don't think he has the receivers that can get down the field and make these big play catches. And also, we're going to go, obviously, with Travis Kelce. All 3 games, he's gone over 70 yards receiving. We'll go over 70.5 Travis Kelce receiving yards.
All right, those are a few of the prop bets. So you see San Francisco. Sounds like you see San Francisco getting an early lead in this game, Lee.
I think it's very possible. If Kansas City's leading by double digits, I think it's game, set, match. I mean, look at this. When Patrick Mahomes has gone back to pass in the playoffs 112 times, 4 touchdowns, but no interceptions, no fumbles, and he's been sacked a grand total of twice for only minus 11 yards. So you don't turn the ball over more than your opponent, you're going to win most of the games. And I think that Andy Reid probably sat him down and said, listen, Patrick, hey, you're amazing. But the way we're going to win is you score 20-plus points, and our defense is going to hold the team that we're playing under 20 almost every single time. And then they've got the best kicker, Harrison Buckner. I mean, the guy kicks it right down the center. I mean, so Jake Moody's been a little inconsistent for San Francisco. So they even have a prop there. There's 2 fun props that I like. Taylor Swift under 5.5 appearances from the start of the game to the end of the game. And the reason I like that is I think they'll show her if, let's say, Travis Kelce has a big catch or a touchdown. But 5.5 times, that's a lot. Whenever they had, Eli and Peyton Manning, they would have 2.5. How many times did they show the brother? Almost always go under, way under. They show them once. So I think we're going to go under there. And how many will there be? They have the doink camp set up. So will there be a field goal hit either goalpost or crossbar on a missed field goal or extra point? That's the key. Missed field goal can hit the goalpost or crossbar and still go in. It's plus 400. I'm going to go minus 500 there. I don't see it happening. If Jake Moody misses, he's going to miss by a lot.
Is that you remember when Sports Illustrated used to have today's sign of the apocalypse? Is if you're betting whether or not a missed field goal is going to hit the crossbar or the upright, isn't that the sign you've got a problem?
No. I'm
No?
looking for the odds. No. There's 580 prop plays. I'm looking.
I was going to say, out of all the bets that we can make on this game, we're betting whether or not we're going to hit, steal.
Bet 500. It's an easy $100, David. So, you might have to sweat it out. Every single extra point.
Exactly.
You'll be glued in, but it used to be the sack. Remember? Safety. Will there be a safety? It'd be 8-1 or 10-1. There's only been 2 safeties in the Super Bowl. So
the one I was looking at was 4th down conversions, and it's 1.5, and it seems like that's an easy play, but these are 2 guys that don't go for it a lot on 4th down.
Right. I would go under there. Yeah. There's no Dan Campbell in either of these coaches.
Well, and also it's conversions because Dan went for it 3 times, but went 1 of 3. He's Lee Sterling. Paramount Sports, ParamountSports.com, 800-400-9741. So to review, and obviously many other bets you could take, call Lee if you want to know who he likes on the game. But so the daughter's going under on the anthem.
Yep.
Debo rushing yards over, Purdy passing yards under, Kelce receiving yards over, Mahomes longest pass play under.
I'll throw in one more for good measure. Kansas City Chiefs under 5.5 penalties. I think they're a disciplined team.
Well, also, Andy Reid's got a little Shula impact with the officials. Andy intimidates nice guy, Andy Reid. Andy intimidates officials.
Right.
Well, this crew doesn't throw a lot of flags. It's the head referee here is not a big penalty guy. So,
all right. I like it. Good luck to your daughter.
Yeah.
All right, boy. By the way, 10, 11 in a row? How many she hit?
She's going for 10 in a row here.
She's going for...
Yeah, if she hits this, I guess next year you'll just have her on for the 10 minutes.
Well, has she ever missed on the anthem? Or
Never.
Okay. Oh,
Never
my goodness.
missed.
She hasn't
Never
suffered her first loss yet.
She spent over 4.5 hours studying it last Saturday. That tells you how serious she is.
Wow.
About it.
That's a
20,
party.
22 appearances. She found a YouTube where Reba had sang the national anthem, I think, in 1976 at a rodeo. It was the first time.
Gotta love technology. All right, Lee.
All right.
Have a great weekend. Enjoy the Super Bowl, and good luck to your daughter.
Thanks so much, guys. Take care.
Lee Sterling, Paramount Sports, ParamountSports.com, 800-400-9741. So he gave out about a half a dozen of his favorite prop bets, and his daughter's going under on the anthem. That seems quick to me.
It does.
I mean,
That's what I told you. I'm telling you. And he hit it. Of all these 22 different recordings that his daughter found, there are some that are over. There are some that are under. I think this is the toughest one she's ever done.
This seems quick, though, to me. Most anthems are like in the minute 50-something range.
Yeah, Stapleton's last year was over 2 minutes.
So, man. And what is it? A minute 31?
Minute 30.
Man, that seems fast. Do I dare bet into the teeth, not just of Lee Sterling, but of Lee Sterling's daughter?
No.
You're going to buck a trend.
I am.
She's 9-0.
She's due to miss one. You know, the sportscaster's jinx at work here. You know, he's made 28 consecutive free throws, you know. I mean, you know, Reba gets ready for the anthem. I'm going to say out loud, you know, honey, Lee Sterling's daughter's never gotten the length of the anthem wrong. See what happens here.
What I'm really disappointed about more than anything is I spent the majority of that interview trying to find the national anthem prop on the Hard Rock app, and I can't find it.
Oh, no. This is a crisis. It's the only bet we want to make. What the heck?
The waterways of Naples are a beauty to behold, and the Bayfront Inn has multiple ways for guests to enjoy the water and have some fun. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn. Something for everyone. On 5th Avenue in Naples.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Do you remember your first kiss? How about your first date? I'll bet you can recall that first Valentine's Day you were together. Or maybe that'll be this year. Valentine's Day is a celebration of love and affection, and this is where the Diamond District shines. Diamonds make a perfect Valentine's gift. Whether you're getting engaged or choosing a beautiful gift to fine jewelry, you'll want to visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District. For Valentine's Day this year, Jason and Todd are offering you 5 years interest-free financing. Choose a beautiful diamond bracelet for $1,500, and you pay $25 per month. Stunning diamond earrings for $5,000, and you pay only $83 per month. Valentine's Day starts with Jason and Todd at the Diamond District and ends in romance as she unwraps her beautiful new diamond bracelet, stunning diamond earrings, or magical gemstone jewelry, including emeralds, sapphires, rubies, tanzanite, and more. Jason and Todd look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to their Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
So, next door, the PD's board hopping because she's at Disney.
Oh, okay.
And he really likes the music that they play on that station because it's loud.
Okay.
And it's like a variety of
of just bad 80s music.
It's a lot of 80s stuff. Is it all 80s they do?
Yeah, it's just I don't know what there's about 17 stations that play the same music in this market. This is the other way, you're old. When I first moved to this market, this station played like Sinatra. That the one there,
really?
it was playing the old music. Now it's playing the old music. But the difference is I know all the songs.
Sign of the times.
Oh man, it sucks.
The 80s. By the way, at what point do you think we're gonna have to start saying the 1980s, the 1950s?
Right.
It's coming up.
Will it really? I mean, we're in the 2020s. If we're talking about the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, it's pretty obvious what we're talking about, isn't it?
Well, yeah. I'm just saying, probably in 20 years, it'll turn into you'll have to start saying the 2030s, the 2040s.
Well, yeah, because we'll be in them.
Yeah.
I don't know. You've thrown me for a loop there.
Well, in 20 years, we're gonna have.
No. I get it. I could do the math and everything. No,
I can do the math and everything.
So we can't do the play of the day, right?
No.
No. I can give you a Molly Made question of the day.
There we go.
I haven't thought.
There we go.
I'll think of one.
Uh-oh. Got to get it right. Can't be wrong. Don't pull a Moulton.
Well, it's not trivia. It'll just be like something to chew on.
UAB has a little, as a university, they got their football program. I mean, they packed that place for that basketball game last night. The crowd's doing, the student section had like a little dance thing going on. I mean, it was a great atmosphere.
Birmingham's a great college sports town. Aren't many better. Remember, we were talking about schools that we thought could, I think I was the one that said, you're one which is brilliant. You've been on Arizona State for a long time. But we were wondering, who could be the next UCF? Birmingham, just 2 hours from Atlanta. Not that far from Nashville.
Here we go.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network.
21 minutes after the hour, Miller and Moulton will make our pick on Super Bowl 58 coming up in about 20 minutes' time. In 20 minutes, we put our just well-earned reputations, insert joke here, on the line and make our pick for Super Bowl 58. Lee Sterling was just on. His daughter said goes under on the anthem. Go under on Reba McEntire and the anthem. And what's it? Is it a minute 30 or a minute 31?
31, something like that, right? It's
right. So, every second's going to be critical here. And it's from the moment she starts singing, not when the music starts playing and what have you. First note to last note. That's the anthem. My wife looked at me crazy last year. I got my phone out and a stopwatch, and I'm timing Chris Stapleton doing the anthem.
Yeah, 90 and a half seconds, David.
Oh, I love it. We got a half on the anthem. That's spectacular.
This is the lowest over-under we've ever seen for the Super Bowl national anthem. The next lowest was 94 seconds.
And Lee's daughter, who's 9 for 9 picking the anthem, studied 22 Reba McEntire anthems going back to a rodeo in 77. Hello.
The longest anthem in Super Bowl history, Alicia Keys at Super Bowl 47, 2 minutes, 36 seconds.
Wow.
Do you guys like her? I've never understood I got nothing against her. I've never gotten the.
Not one way or another.
Okay.
Yes.
The shortest Super Bowl anthem was at Super Bowl 21. Neil Diamond did the anthem.
That was Giants Broncos.
He took 62 seconds to do the anthem.
How does David remember that?
Well, it was the first time the Giants won the Super Bowl. That was in my life. I was 21 years old. That's my wheelhouse, baby.
I stand corrected. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Plus, also, you do this for a living. You start trying to remember Super Bowls, the numbers, who played in what, which is, not easy. Not easy. 62 seconds. Well, Neil does those 3-minute songs.
Right. The over in the last 15 years is just 9, 7, and 1, even though the over is cashed on 4 of the last 5 Super Bowls.
Okay. So there you have it. We're going in depth. Lee also, for the record, likes Debo's rushing total over. It's 13.5 yards. He thinks they're going to run Debo a few times. Purdy under 243 yards passing. Chiefs haven't given up 260 passing all year. So he likes under 243. Likes over for the number of yards Kelsey receiving, over 70.5. And longest pass play for the Chiefs, it's 35.5 yards. He likes the under. And he also says takes the under on the number of penalties that the Chiefs will have, which is under 5.5. So those are some of the prop bets that Lee Sterling gave out last segment. We'll make our pick on the game coming up in about 15 minutes' time. No play of the day today because the damn computer doesn't work. Okay? You know why? Because the computer's as old as Reba McEntire. Get a new one. Please. It's embarrassing.
We should set an over-under on the amount of time it will take to...
Super Bowl 59.
And I'm going over. But so we don't have a Molly Maid play of the day, but apparently we have a Molly Maid trivia question.
No, just a question. He's going to have something that we can ponder.
Yeah, I'll give you a little something to chew on. This is Super Bowl week. We'll stay right in the wheelhouse. I just want to know, and David, I'm going to ask you to exclude the Giants wins, but what's the best Super Bowl you ever saw? Best Super Bowl you ever watched, most memorable. Take it however you want.
Wow.
Sundays will be. That's the way I am. It's the next one. David's way better at this. I would probably go back to, and wouldn't be able to remember which one, but a Steelers-Cowboys Super Bowl, the Lynn Swann catch. That's the game that I first remember.
That's
we've had so many good ones in the last 25 years. Hell, last year's game was tremendous. How about the one before it? Stafford and the Rams, final 4 minutes driving down. Hit the catches by Cup on the final drive to win. I mean, we've gotten really, for as bad as this game was for the first half of its history, the last half of its history, that's how many terrific games we've had. I mean, how about when the Patriots upset the Rams? How about the one that, we were Radio Row for? How about that Steelers-Cardinals Super Bowl? How about that fourth quarter? So, I mean, the best one of the bunch? Whew, I don't know. I mean, but we've been lucky here.
We really, you've
we've
been
had,
lucky, Trent. In your
yeah.
life, the game has become great in your lifetime, where for a decade, David and I watched a lot of bad Super Bowls.
That's what kind of prompted this question. As I was looking at some of the final scores, and really, yeah, like David said, the last quarter century has just been,
I mean,
phenomenal.
How about the Patriots coming back from 28-3? I mean, we've got it, the Harbaugh Super Bowl. Ravens jump out to the lead. We get a power failure. Niners come back. Ravens have to have a goal line stand to hold on and win.
Yep.
How about the Seahawks Patriots Super Bowl? The Brady and the Patriots down 10 in the fourth quarter, 2 touchdown drives, and the Seahawks complete that miraculous pass. They got first and goal, second and goal for the 1.5. We all know what happened. I mean, we've had a hell of a run on the Super Bowl.
We've had Breeze against Manning, Peyton, that is. We've had Aaron Rodgers against Big Ben. A lot of good quarterback matchups, too.
And this year we get Brock Purdy and Patrick Mahomes. And what happens if Brock Purdy gets it done?
Would it be as big as Warner? When Warner and the Rams, now see, they came out of nowhere also, which kind of made it seem even bigger. Their first 2 years, they had won, I think, 9 games total under Vermeil. I mean, if Vermeil was getting fired, if year 3 wasn't a good year, they nearly fired him after year 2. Warner was the backup. Trent Green gets hurt final preseason game thanks to Rodney Harrison. We all know what happened. Then the Super Bowl's tied. And when the Rams blow a 16-point lead, the Titans come all the way back. They tie it. First play of the drive, Warner hits, who was it, Bruce? 80-yard touchdown. Here we go. So, does it matter how the game ends? Does it have to be dramatic, or can he just be like Brad Johnson, efficient? His team wins. We go crazy.
No, if he's just that, he won't. It will have to be the fourth quarter score. I mean, that's what we remember people by. And in an era where it seems that we look at whoever gets the ball last wins a lot of the time, I think it needs some of that, David.
Okay. Warner was undrafted, NFL Europe, Arena League, bagging groceries. I mean, Warner through Iowa, though, Purdy, Iowa State. I mean, they're kind of had the Iowa connection, but all right. So there you go. By the way, our poll question, who you picking? Chiefs or Niners? It's that simple. That Mark Miller, the David Moulton, FloridaSportsNetwork.com.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095 That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Well, Steve, I'm just going with the numbers that Lee threw out there. And Lee may have gotten the numbers from a different place, but the bottom line is one's an under, one's an over. No, they're both unders,
both
I should
unders.
say. They're both unders. So bet accordingly.
David, someone texted me to tell you something. I love that. And I don't mean the text line. I mean they text my phone. Mark, FYI, tell David this is the first day since the Lions-Niners game that I've even sniffed sports talk radio. Not sure I can watch the Super Bowl either. Still beyond bitter, and I know he loves bitterness.
Who's he bitter at? The Lions?
Yes.
Dan? I mean, who's he
Lions.
angry at? sense of fairness, we have created a point system that will allow the more deserving members here at the club the ability to easily get a team time. Points will be compiled and awarded based on a simple formula. Who's that Club Pro guy?
Mm-hmm.
Each member of the group has, the better team. Beginning March 1st, points will be awarded as follows. If you're a member of the club or a Groupon member has been standing, you get a point. If you're an annual member, a corporate member, a junior member, or the spouse of a pool member, you get half a point. If you're the biological child of a
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
$22 minutes before the top of the hour. We will look back at the NBA trade deadline at the top of the hour. Pat Kirwan will join us 1 hour from now, live from Las Vegas. He's conducted about 50 interviews this week. Also, all his prep work with CBS and the NFL Today as they get ready for Super Bowl 58. So we'll jam as much as we can in our 15 minutes with Pat Kirwan. We'll do that 1 hour from now. Our final edition of the Swifty Special is 40 minutes away. Mark Miller is a Swifty. He knows so much about her music. And by knows, I mean has guessed at an unbelievably high level.
David, you hung with him yesterday.
I did. We even both kind of piggybacked off the other. You know, I cheated one time. He said he answered first, and I said, yeah, well, what he said. I answered first one time, and he went, yeah, I'll go with him. So, you know, we're even trying to piggyback off each other, trying not to embarrass ourselves. Is it a Taylor Swift song or is it a make-believe title?
But today we're going with what? Taylor Swift's boyfriends?
Yeah, I've got a little bit of a mixed bag today.
Okay.
Wow.
We'll have some fun.
Wow. That younger brother's girlfriend, I mean, she's just a wealth of Taylor Swift knowledge. We are just going deep into the well. We'll do that about 40 minutes from now. Our poll question yesterday was, who are you rooting for in the game? And 62% of you said, yeah, I'm rooting for the Niners, which is noteworthy in and of itself because Miller and Moulton have been doing this for a while. No one ever roots for the Niners. They're not they've got a big fan base, but they're not a popular team. In fact, you know, Mark and I were going through it yesterday. We don't know if there's been a Super Bowl since maybe their first one against the Bengals in which the public is kind of like, hey, you know, I think I'm for the Niners. Otherwise, it's been, you know, rooting for everybody else. Probably because the Niners started doing a whole lot of winning. Well, now it's the Chiefs doing the winning. And, you know, never mind the whole Kelsey Taylor Swift thing. And so there's a little bit of Chiefs fatigue. And 62% of you said, yeah, I'm rooting for the Niners. Today, who you picking? Which can be different than who you're rooting for. Who you picking? That Mark Miller, the David Moulton, FloridaSportsNetwork.com.
Have you stayed true to your pick all week?
Or
have you flipped and flopped? Because I feel like a politician.
I've stayed true, but I've been really close to flip-flopping. Tuesday and Wednesday were difficult days for me. See, I'm trying to keep, for some reason, Mark, I have in the back of my head, first off, the experts are wrong about everything. And secondly, I just have it in my head, Mark, the Niners have been lucky. I mean, they have. You don't see this very often. They've been outplayed in both playoff games and they've won. That doesn't happen. They only have to play one B plus or better performance and they can be a Super Bowl champion. That's unusual. And basically, don't you think they got one of those in them? And I've been tormented by that. Also, the story, Purdy, Kyle Shanahan erasing the demons, McCaffrey, going from the losing situation and getting traded over. I feel like maybe because of the quarterback that the Chiefs' window is going to be bigger. Maybe not with this core, but I don't think this is Mahomes' last Super Bowl. This could be Brock Purdy's only Super Bowl. And so I've had this voice, Mark, in my head tapping me going, Niners are going to win. I know you don't think so, but the Niners are going to win.
And my gut told me the Niners from day one. And as every day's gone by, I have been more and more apprehensive to make that pick because Kansas City defensively has been great.
Yeah.
They really have.
Yeah. Yep. My gut was the Chiefs. As soon as the game was set, as soon as the line came out, my gut's been the Chiefs. I have not gone to bed and changed my mind. I've gone to bed and had a couple sleepless nights over it, but I have not gone to bed and changed my mind.
Wait a minute. Sleepless nights over your Super Bowl pick?
Well, you know what I mean.
No. I mean, did you wake up at all at 3 a.m. and went, oh, no, I got to pick San Francisco? And then just fell back asleep?
Well, I have, it's kind of like the World Cup at 2:30 in the morning, China, Costa Rica, when I woke up for it back in the day. I mean, I have, woke up at about 2:30 in the morning and gone, well, what if the Niners stick with the run? Well, what if they target, Debo in the slot the way that the Chiefs targeted Kelsey last week? Okay. I mean, if Kyle Shanahan can just stick to the plays he should run, they should win this game. Yes. Twice I've woken up with that voice talking to me going, the Niners have more ways to win this game. You know that, right?
But the Niners defensively have shown vulnerability in these games. Detroit in the first half did anything they wanted. And will Kansas City be able to, with Kelsey, get their passing game going? And how much Pacheco's success depends greatly on how much Kansas City's success is in this game to me.
The Chiefs have played 6 halves of football. The Niners have played 4. The Chiefs defensively have played 5 excellent halves. The first half against Buffalo is the only half in which the Chiefs defense was on its heels. Josh Allen was running the ball, throwing the ball. The Chiefs were kind of holding on for dear life in the first half. They came out halftime adjustments. They held Buffalo to 7 points. Did Buffalo hurt themselves by not continuing to run the quarterback? Probably. But the Chiefs started getting pressure on them. They flipped the script. The Niners defense, how many good halves have they played? They played a quarter against the Packers. Do we give them the whole second half against the Lions?
Yeah,
okay.
I do.
All right. I mean, I feel like they've played 3 out of 8 good quarters and defensively, where the Chiefs have played, 10 out of 12. I'm going with the Chiefs. To me, this is the exact same game as last year. I made this exact same pick last year. The Eagles were more versatile. I'd take the Eagles roster over the Chiefs, just like I would take the Niners roster over the Chiefs. First off, I don't think the Niners front 4 is living up to their billing. I don't. Bosa only got near Jared Goff when Sewell didn't block him. When they brought in the extra tackle one time, he got a sack. When they didn't block him one time on a blitz, when Sewell took the inside guy and they left Bosa with a clear run, he got a sack. But Bosa didn't do squat against the Packers. Okay. And Chase Young's a joke on the other side. So to me, if San Francisco's front's going to do anything, remember, Baltimore's interior couldn't do anything against that backup guard. Thuney ain't playing again, by the way. Andy Reid's all but said it. So the Chiefs are going to have that backup guard in there. Well, Armstead or somebody in the middle of that Niners defense better make it happen, because so far Bosa and Chase Young have been virtually MIA unless they're blocked by backups or not blocked at all. So I'm going Chiefs. I have more confidence in Mahomes for the obvious reason. The Chiefs turn it over less. They're penalized less. I don't know if San Francisco is going to cover Kelsey. I mean, hey, hell, if the Ravens with Kyle Hamilton surrendered 11 receptions to Kelsey, what the heck are the Niners going to surrender if Kansas City's that committed to getting the ball to the tight end? So 27-24 Chiefs.
That's so funny that you picked that as a score.
It's an over. I mean, I went with 51 points. The over-under is 47.5.
My gut's big. I mean, I eat a lot. I like food. My gut told me San Francisco, but my gut's gotten me in trouble most of my life. Overeating, over-drinking. In my head sitting here telling me, you're going to bet against Mahomes. Are you going to be that stupid to bet against Patrick Mahomes when the other quarterback's Brock Purdy? But, David, I'm going to trust my gut. It'll probably give me heartburn. It'll probably be a bad decision. But I think Kittle has a big game. Maybe not as big as Kelsey, but he has a big game. McCaffrey gets loose once. They'll run the ball effectively enough. And Purdy with the ball last delivers. 26-24 Niners.
So you're going Niners to cover. And by the way, it's 1.5 now. Okay, it could be 2 at kickoff. Could be 2 certain places you look to. You are going right on the number. And then you're going over. So we're both going over. I'm going Chiefs. You're going Niners. Okay.
I don't feel great about this pick. I'm very nervous.
I hear you. So we're split. We're genuinely split. We don't do this just to do this. If you new to the show or what have you, we're not a shtick show. All right. If we end up agreeing on a game, we agree on a game.
Like we agreed on UAB last night. Don't think we won't agree on a game.
Right. We went 2-1 last night. Made money because we got our teaser right. So we're up for the week, aren't we? I mean, we've made like $7-8 this week. We are loaded.
Oh, yeah, we're
loaded.
Hard Rock App's ready to shut us down.
I know.
With these Trent bets that we're making.
Just consider it the bonus money that we'll give Trent. He's making $7 a show. So if we make about $7-8 a week, we can give that to him and, just maybe a few more ramen, noodles there. We haven't discussed this, and I don't know if we're going to have a chance to along the network. So are you paying attention to this Herb Street controversy?
Not a whole lot. I mean, I'm aware of it, but I'm not.
So this Dylan Raiola guy was committed to Georgia. And then he started thinking his family had all the ties to Nebraska, but he committed to Georgia to play football. And I guess Herb Street I don't know if he talked with the kid or he talked to the kid's dad. And Herb Street's like, dude, you go to Nebraska. Okay, you have a much better chance at playing time and a legacy and what have you. Go to Nebraska. So the kid decommits and he goes to Nebraska. Well, it's college football. Fans don't get worked up about this stuff. It's not a big deal or anything. So you got the whole Florida State nation that wants to burn Herb Street and ESPN at the stake. And now you got Georgia fans that are like, what the heck? Getting involved in recruiting, talking kids away from us. Not that they'll remember it or anything. There won't be any chance when game day goes to Athens or anything. I'm sure it will never be. No signs.
Welcome to the SEC, Kirk.
Exactly. Man, you guys are making friends. You haven't even done a game yet.
That's when you really can honk off a fan base.
Never mind all the rest of the SEC that's going to be like, oh, great. Now I got Nick Saban on set. This is fantastic. Just what I need. I need more Alabama in my life. We haven't had enough of them in the last 20 years. So there you go. That's what's out there. Herb Street went on Feinbaum yesterday. He's kind of like, well, it's not as bad as it's made out to be, because it's Kirk Herbstreit. He doesn't do anything wrong. By the way, have you seen my dog? Doesn't everybody love my dog? I mean, it's not a prop. It's not. I need the dog. Okay. It's not a prop. Don't for a second.
Wife refused to take it outside, so I have to take it with me everywhere we go.
Right. So I have to bring it with me on the road. It's not a prop. It's not a prop to get people to be nice to me. It's not. It's not. It's not. I need the dog. I'm under stress. Okay. But it's not like, one of those army soldiers with PTSD, because you're not allowed to touch those animals. No, everybody can come up, take pictures with this guy. I mean, just roll him on his belly and rub it.
A level of snark.
Okay.
Wow.
But no. Everything's fine.
What's its name? You know its name.
I don't actually. I just know it's a retriever.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a pretty dog. Okay. Have you seen my dog? Okay. Pet my dog. Does everybody love a dog? Miller and Moulton. We'll talk the NBA trade deadline. That's a lot less controversial next.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Do you remember your first kiss? How about your first date? I'll bet you can recall that first Valentine's Day you were together. Or maybe that'll be this year. Valentine's Day is a celebration of love and affection, and this is where the Diamond District shines. Diamonds make a perfect Valentine's gift. Whether you're getting engaged or choosing a beautiful gift to fine jewelry, you'll want to visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District. For Valentine's Day this year, Jason and Todd are offering you 5 years interest-free financing. Choose a beautiful diamond bracelet for $1,500, and you pay $25 per month. Stunning diamond earrings for $5,000, and you pay only $83 per month. Valentine's Day starts with Jason and Todd at the Diamond District and ends in romance as she unwraps her beautiful new diamond bracelet, stunning diamond earrings, or magical gemstone jewelry, including emeralds, sapphires, rubies, tanzanite, and more. Jason and Todd look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to their Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Yeah, both linemen, Willie Anderson and the longtime Saint. Was it Jahiri Smith, or he got denied too? Yeah, the Martindale signing's interesting because I don't, he's not going to help with recruiting. Also, he's a heavy blitz scheme.
Who, Wink?
Yeah, it's a very interesting signing for college. It's also interesting to me because I think it totally shuts down his chance he had wanted to be an NFL head coach. So, yeah, the Antonio Gates one, Chi-Town, was an absolute shocker. FinFam, it's not the advice that Herb Street gave. It's the fact that should Kirk Herbstreit be in giving any advice to any kids about recruiting, considering the job he has? I mean, it screams conflict of interest.
Keith is ready.
Keith is awesome.
I like him already. It's like, how
Say
you doing?
Rob.
He's like, I'm doing all right. Coffee hasn't quite kicked in, but
He's, you know what? I'm surprised Keith doesn't do the.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
And while it's a Football Friday,
Football Friday,
our final one until at least the draft, we have spent, well, just about the entire show talking about the NFL. They gave out the awards last night, Super Bowl 58. We made our picks last segment. Mark takes the Niners in the over. I take the Chiefs and the over. It's our poll question. Who you picking? Niners or Chiefs? That Mark Miller, the David Moulton on X or FloridaSportsNetwork.com. Vote accordingly. I'm sure he has an opinion on that, but it's not why our next guest is on the show. It's Keith Smith. He covers the NBA, Spot Rack, and the NBA Front Office Show, which can be seen on YouTube. Follow Keith on Twix, Twitter/X at Keith Smith NBA, Keith Smith NBA. Keith, David, and Mark, once again, thanks for your time. How are you?
I'm doing well. A little short on sleep, but hanging in there.
Listen, at least the deadline was 3:00. At least, they didn't stretch it into the night for you. All right. Did it surprise you that the Wiggins, Murray, some of the bigger names bantied about didn't get dealt?
That's kind of a 50-50 answer. It's always a little surprising when you hear guys so involved in trade rumors and then they don't go anywhere. That does stand out a little bit. But I think what happened with some of these cases was some of these teams, the deals were almost too big to happen in season. So I think what you'll see with especially a guy like DeJounte Murray, I know they got close with a couple of different teams. We heard they got close with the Lakers. They got close with the Pelicans. There was other teams that were involved as well. So what I think you may have seen was the table get set for them to kind of re-engage in the summertime when there are expanded rosters. You have teams with cap space that they can kind of go back to salary dump a contract on and the like. And then some of these other guys like Wiggins, maybe even Chris Paul, if the Warriors guarantee his contract, we might see those guys get re-engaged on as well when we flip to the summertime. Just always easier to move those big contracts then.
But as far as the day went, the Knicks were the big winners. They pull off a trade with Detroit. It looks like Detroit got fleeced twice by what I read. But for the Knicks, this adds some depth. How much does it make them a legit contender with Boston in the East?
Yeah, I think the Knicks come away as like the winner of the trade deadline, if there is such a thing, because they were able to fill 2 rotation spots, and they didn't really trade any of their core guys. Quentin Grimes was as close as you had in that deal, and they didn't give up a lot of draft capital to do it either, which is also huge. They've added OG Anunoby, Bojan Bogdanovic, and Alec Burks without giving up a single first-round pick, which is kind of remarkable when you think about it. So the Bogdanovic move is big for them, and it's extremely huge in the immediate as soon as he's ready to go and play for the Knicks, because OG Anunoby's out for a few weeks with an elbow injury at least. Julius Randle's out for a little while longer with the shoulder injury. So Bogdanovic is going to play a big role right away. And I think they're going to ask Alec Burks to step in and do some of the things that Emmanuel quickly did for them as far as scoring and playmaking off the bench. So really good trade deadline for the Knicks.
Why did the Sixers trade Patrick Beverley, and why did they trade him to Milwaukee, a team theoretically they have to go through in the East? I didn't understand that one. I mean, Milwaukee had virtually no assets to acquire something that they needed. I didn't think Milwaukee be able to get their hands on a player as good as Patrick Beverley to fill a need. And I don't think they gave up much of anything to do it. Explain to me what the Sixers did yesterday.
Yeah, the Sixers had a little bit of a weird day. They went out and got Buddy Hield, who's going to help them quite a bit, and they got him for just moving some expiring money around. So that's a big addition. And then their other moves were a little bit, excuse me, the better one. Even Jaden Springer, who's a young player who's played well when given opportunities, they basically salary dumped him over to the Boston Celtics, who are another team they're competing with at the top of the conference. So those are definitely odd moves. My guess is they looked at it and said, hey, what we need is, we don't need Patrick Beverley right now. What we need is maybe a guy like Campaign who can really run the offense a little more, get us into some stuff, make sure we play up tempo. I think the Springer move was solely about, let's get out of the luxury tax. Let's open up some roster spots. Let's be a real major player in the buyout market. But I think Philly also knows none of this really matters if Joel Embiid isn't healthy and ready to go. So what they did was maintain flexibility for next year while adding a couple guys who they think can help right now.
Who made the biggest mistake by not making a move yesterday? Because there wasn't a lot done. So who should have? And when we look back at the trade deadline, who missed out that should have made a move yesterday?
Yeah, I think it's probably the Lakers. We're a lot of people are saying, well, they were in the worst spot last year, and they made a run all the way to the Western Conference Finals. One, that's probably not happening again. Just with if we really get realistic about it. And then the other part of it is this year, they're in the same position, but LeBron James and Anthony Davis have largely been healthy all season long. And last year was a disaster with those two guys missing time regularly. So the Lakers are in a spot where they could have done some stuff to upgrade. I think they looked around similar to the Warriors, and probably the conversation was, is there a trade that we know it's going to cost us quite a bit that is also going to then lift us, that we feel really good that we're going to be a playoff team and we'll be able to move forward? Or are we making kind of a move that, yeah, it's pretty good, but it's not enough to really lift our season? And if my guess is both teams, the Lakers and Warriors, came back to, no, there isn't that kind of move available. So let's just kind of stand pat and let's move forward with what we have, and we'll figure out the bigger stuff this summer.
I don't understand the Chicago not unloading some guys who are going to have expiring contracts at the end of the year and probably leave. I don't understand the Bulls, who haven't made a meaningful trade since the pandemic. I really don't understand what Chicago's doing or not doing. Are you buying the Cavs in the East and Oklahoma City in the West as legitimate conference finalists or better? Because record-wise, Cleveland's won, 16 of 17? They got the second best record in the East, and they're all young. They got a great roster. Oklahoma City's all young, but they got a great roster, and they just added Gordon Hayward. Cavs, Thunder, are you buying?
I am. I think both of those teams have a chance to be really, really good. Now, Cleveland got a taste of the playoffs last year. It didn't go great, but they have some sense now of, all right, this is what it looks like. Excuse me. And then you have the Thunder, who are probably a year ahead of where anybody reasonably thought they would be. And a guy like Gordon Hayward, if he can get on the floor, that's always the question. He can be a major upgrade for them, because what I think you're going to see teams do against Oklahoma City is probably step out on the floor and not guard Josh Giddey. And if Josh Giddey hits 4 or 5 3-pointers and that's why you lose, so be it. Now, if Hayward's healthy, you plug him in to that spot and you're ready to go. So I think that's a really big upgrade for them. They didn't give up a whole lot to do it either, and they've still got a million draft picks and good cap flexibility and all kinds of stuff. On the Cleveland front, yeah, I think the Cavs they didn't do anything at the trade deadline, but they didn't have a lot to do. Their big thing is then, let's get Evan Mobley and Darius Garland healthy and see where we're at. They play really good defense. They've got enough offense. They've got enough shooting. I think Cleveland's going to be dangerous. And then just to tag on to that Bulls point, I would have mentioned them, but I gave up on trying to figure out what in the world they're doing there anymore. None of it makes sense to me in Chicago.
He's Keith Smith, and he covers the NBA, Spot Rack, and the NBA Front Office Show, which you can get on YouTube. Follow Keith on Twix, Twitter/X, Keith Smith NBA, Keith Smith NBA. Keith, thanks for always being there for us. We appreciate all the best to you and your family, and we'll talk again before the playoffs.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me.
Keith Smith. And we've got some people in the Twitch chat room who are big fans of Keith. He used to work for Celtics Blog. Okay, he broke away from them after the Celtics run last year, and then they miss him there because they're big Celtics fans. Does a really good job covering the league.
Yeah, he does. And your Knicks, David, the talk of the trade deadline.
Which is very difficult for it. It's kind of like Trent and Lions fans this year wrapping their head around early in the season. Wait a minute. Maybe we really are good. Maybe everybody's right. Everybody picked us to be good. Holy blank, we beat the Chiefs to start the year. Holy blank, we got off to this really good. Oh my goodness, we're going to win the division. Are we really good? Wait, are we the second best team in this conference? I mean, I think Lions fan had to wrestle with that. Like, no, this can't.
No doubt.
No Lions. This now is kind of like Knicks fans going, wait a minute, are we actually a well-run organization? Come on, that can't be true. Wait a minute, have we just made 2 really good, smart trades in a row? We still have those 7 first-round picks and cap room for next year? Okay, wait a minute. Are people actually now wanting to play for our team? No, come on. Stop it. That's where I think Knicks fan is right now. Like, come on, just stop it already. Not going to happen.
Yeah, it's tough for me to think of a New York fan not oozing with confidence all the time, but then there's the Knicks fan. So
that organization's done it to you. Okay. Mets fan is more confident about the Mets future. Knicks fan's like, come on. We're the Knicks. We'll screw it up.
I love how they're doing this, though. That's what I love. I love that they don't really, it's not the super team. Let's get all the guys together and pay them a bunch of money. It's a lot of homegrown talent and Jalen Brunson, baby. I love it.
Yeah. It's not going after the big names and the big money. It's very
it's not going after the old big name and money player, which they traditionally would do, and
it feels,
get someone 2 years too late.
Feels Golden State-esque from their first run before Kevin Durant joined.
There's no Curry on the. I mean, Jalen Brunson's terrific. There's no Curry. You know, that's probably when the Knicks don't achieve what their fan base wants. The reason will be is that they're probably a B+ team. You know, like the Heat last year. You know, you get the right matchups and you get the right year and this, that, and, you know, you can go on they could go on a run, but they're probably a B+ team.
Well, the problem is that the Celtics are an A team.
Exactly. Now, if Porzingis gets hurt and can't stay healthy, Mark, what are the Celtics without Porzingis?
A B+ team.
There we go. Miller and Moulton. So, all right, there we go. We covered the deadline. That's it. All right. Hey, it's time for the Swifty special, baby.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Do you remember your first kiss? How about your first date? I'll bet you can recall that first Valentine's Day you were together. Or maybe that'll be this year. Valentine's Day is a celebration of love and affection, and this is where the Diamond District shines. Diamonds make a perfect Valentine's gift. Whether you're getting engaged or choosing a beautiful gift to fine jewelry, you'll want to visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District. For Valentine's Day this year, Jason and Todd are offering you 5 years interest-free financing. Choose a beautiful diamond bracelet for $1,500, and you pay $25 per month. Stunning diamond earrings for $5,000, and you pay only $83 per month. Valentine's Day starts with Jason and Todd at the Diamond District and ends in romance as she unwraps her beautiful new diamond bracelet, stunning diamond earrings, or magical gemstone jewelry, including emeralds, sapphires, rubies, tanzanite, and more. Jason and Todd look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to their Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
So I've got 5 boyfriend questions. I've got a true or false. And then I've got a few that are like, I'll explain them when we get there. Don't want to give it away. Still just 10 though. 10 total.
Cool, Hammer. Watching a lot of Netflix last couple of weeks.
Movies?
No, shows. Wife is going through them.
What's the new show you're watching?
Well, we've gone through a couple already. One was 7 Seconds, which apparently was 5 years old, but we got to it now. So we started one last night. I think it's called Escape or something like that.
I need a funny show. I need a comedy.
Yeah, my wife's in no mood for that right now. I'm with you.
Did you ever watch The Goldbergs?
No.
Yes.
I think you would like that. It's based in the 80s. It's pretty funny.
It's very Larry David-ish, though. Wouldn't you agree or no?
Yes. And short episodes, too. They're only like 22 minutes long.
Yeah, so if you like Larry David type humor, because, of course, the one guy's on Larry David.
Right.
So if you like that, I think you'd like the Goldbergs. If you don't like that, I don't know that you will.
I've thought about going back and just watching all the Larry Davids again.
Final year.
Did you ever
Wow,
watch Family?
Chaz. You're just getting to the wire. I think I'm going to have to get, I think I have Peacock, but I think I'm paying for it, and yet can't access it. But my wife, an NBC show that she loved is now they have all 6 seasons of it on Peacock. She wants to watch it again. It's a cry every episode show. I'm like, yeah.
That's what I need.
I know. I think it's us. It's on us, or it's
This Is Us.
This Is Us.
This Is Us. Yeah, I want no part of it.
I watched the first episode. At the end of the show, my wife and I are both sobbing uncontrollably. I looked at her. I go, what in the hell are we watching this show for?
Convulsing.
Maybe every week you feel like you need a good cry. Hey, it's Wednesday night, honey. What do you say? We watch it, we sob, and then, we go into a little hanky-panky. What do you say? When we realize how lucky we are.
Right.
Right? No?
I'm going to watch The Bachelor. It's going on right now. I'm going to start it tonight. I think there's like 6 episodes out so far.
I'm sorry.
I love The Bachelor. Okay, The Bachelorette is funnier because the guy's breaking down, and that's hilarious, objectively. I know it's all fake, but come on.
No!
It's entertaining.
No, it's like saying wrestling is fake.
Here we
Come on.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
21 minutes past the hour. Busy sports day yesterday. NBA trading deadline, which, if you're into the association, was interesting. Not big and blockbuster, but interesting. The NFL handed out all its awards last night, and they used to let us know Saturday dinner time before the Super Bowl who got into the Hall of Fame. They decided now to do it on the Thursday night before the game, awards night. So Lamar won his second MVP, nearly unanimous. Josh Allen got one first place vote. Lamar got all the rest. Christian McCaffrey, Myles Garrett, offensive and defensive players of the year. CJ Stroud, Will Anderson, both from the Texans. Rookies, offensive and defensive of the year. Stefanski from Cleveland wins coach of the year. Remember, it's a regular season award. Joe Flacco, comeback player of the year. Bit controversial, only played 5 games. Okay, beat out DeMar Hamlin. Also beat out Baker Mayfield. You can make the case if you're voting for a quarterback, Baker's 17 games, Flacco 5. But Okay.
Speaking of Baker, did you happen to catch the little? He was on Up and Adams, and Steve Young was on there, and they're talking. Basically, he kind of gave away the state secret.
Yeah, the mic stayed on. It's
Yeah.
not supposed to. They were off air. They were in a commercial break, and the mic stayed on. And Baker's like, "Yeah, I'm going to resign, and we're looking to bring in so and so and bring back so and so." Well, good. Okay. There you go. So I guess I don't know. Does that hurt him leverage wise? Do the Bucks now turn to him and go, "Well, I hear you're coming back," or do you just, I mean, you got to pay the going rate. And this quarterback in the NFL, you're going to make minimum 35, probably 40-ish. So that damn Daniel Jones contract, I'm telling you, it's a killer. It is. Cam Hayward of the Steelers, Walter Payton Man of the Year. All right, that's a biggie. But Devin Hester gets in the Hall of Fame, a return specialist. That's a first. Is that going to open the door for the Veterans Committee maybe to go Billy White Shoes Johnson? Does this help Steve Tasker, who's been a finalist before, whose job it was to tackle the Devin Hesters of the world? Julius Peppers, Dwight Freeney, Patrick Willis, Andre Johnson. The other members elected to the Hall of Fame. The senior committee put in Randy Gradishar and Steve McMichael. Nice for McMichael to get in because he's, dying from ALS. And so at least, don't know if he'll make it to the summer, but, he and the family know that, he is in fact a Hall of Famer. So that's some of the football news that happened yesterday.
But now it's time to get to the big portion of the show. It's the Swifty special for the final time.
I'm gonna miss this.
Get a bit
emotional.
Successful since week 2 gambling.
We have a little bit of a mixed bag today. The first 5 questions are going to be just like we've been doing all week, except they're her boyfriends, her dating history. So I'm going to give you 2 celebrities. You tell me which one she's dated. All right.
So, and for those, if you're just listening for the first time this week, what we've basically done is, is it a Taylor Swift song? And then so we got a real title and a fake title of a Taylor Swift song. Miller and Moulton had to guess what was real, what was fake. So
now we have to guess who she dated and who she didn't. All right. It's going to be right in Moulton's wheelhouse. I feel like after a winning week, I'm in trouble right now.
A lot of pressure on me here because I'm the gossip hound of the show.
Well, I think you'll be off to a hot start because this one is, I don't want to say a gimme, but all right. Has she dated Zac Efron or Liam Hemsworth?
The second one.
I was going to say Zac Efron, but
it is Zac Efron. Zac Efron. Liam Hemsworth, he dated Miley Cyrus, was married for a while. Yeah, so there you go.
There you go. I just got those 2 mixed up.
Didn't they get married even?
Yes, they did.
Okay.
And they had a very ugly divorce. Number 2.
Well, it was ugly for him because she came out and said, I think I want to play for the other team now. Okay, that's a bad look for him.
Hard to get back into the dating pool.
It is.
When the last woman you dated changed teams after you.
Right.
Round 2, Jake Gyllenhaal or Justin Bieber?
Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, it's got to be. I would have known if she dated Justin Bieber.
Yes, you would have. Number 3, Jesse McCartney or Taylor Lautner?
McCartney.
I was going to go Lautner.
It is Taylor Lautner. The pride of Hudsonville, Michigan. Shout out. Round 4, Harry Styles or Nick Jonas?
Oh, Jonas.
I was going to say Styles, so I'm obviously wrong.
It is Harry Styles.
Oh,
wow, nice.
Date a Jonas brother, but it was Joe Jonas, not Nick.
Oh, come on. You got to be kidding me. We're doing misdirection plays with Taylor Swift trivia? Are you serious?
Thought we were just doing One Direction.
Nice. That was good. That was brilliant. I'm clipping that.
Well played.
All right. Round 5, Zayn Malik, who was Harry Styles' bandmate in One Direction, or Tom Hiddleston?
Tom Hiddleston.
Hiddleston.
Good job. Very nice. So that concludes the boyfriend questions. Now I got 5 more over the next couple minutes just around the segment out. All right. True or false? Taylor Swift's lucky number is 13.
True.
True.
That is true. And the reason that the Swifties love it is because 13 plus 87, Travis Kelce's number, is 100. So they love that.
Oh, and Super Bowl 58, 5 plus 8 is. I mean, there are. Somebody did a thing about all the stuff that adds up to 13 numerically with this Super Bowl. Please, just anyway.
I'm going to give you 4 album titles. Which one is not a Taylor Swift album? Ready?
Oh, my goodness.
Red, Renaissance, Fearless, Lover.
Fearless.
Lover.
You guys are both incorrect. Renaissance is a Beyonce album.
Damn it!
Mark is not used to losing on this segment. I'm going to give you 4 artists. You tell me which one she did not perform as an opening act for early in her career.
Are you...
Seriously, you'll think this is interesting. Rascal Flatts, George Strait, Keith Urban, or Toby Keith. Who did she not open for?
George Strait.
Keith Urban.
She did not open for Toby Keith, which is really throws you for a loop because Toby Keith is the one who signed
her.
Yes.
Yeah,
thought that was the gimme of the group.
Right.
All right, here's an interesting one.
Now, listen, I'm telling you, for everybody out there, write some of this stuff down. You know, want to impress, the wife, the daughter, the granddaughter, the niece. We're trying to help you out here.
This one is very interesting. So Taylor Swift has won 14 Grammys. Michael Jackson has won 13. So she has one more Grammy. But who's shooting better from the field? Who's won a bigger percentage of their nominations? Taylor Swift or Michael Jackson?
Now we're going percentages.
I'm going to say Michael Jackson. Because Taylor Swift seems to blank out an album every other day.
Right.
So we're going percentage.
Yes. Quality over quantity.
Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson has won 34%, Taylor Swift 27. Well done. You guys did it.
By the way, Beyonce the most Grammys, correct? By a big margin.
Yep, she passed, was it Quincy Jones? A couple years ago, I think she passed Quincy Jones. All right, last one. This one is just completely a throwaway question. You guys kind of mentioned this yesterday, so that's why I threw it in here. You know what her zodiac sign is? Take a stab at it.
Oh, for goodness sake.
I don't even know my own zodiac sign.
Sagittarius.
She's a Cancer.
Taylor Swift is a Sagittarius. David Moulton closing it out hot. And the only reason I brought that up is because yesterday, when I mentioned that song, The Archer, David was like, "What is this, Sagittarius?" So I just figured you might get a shot at that.
I have no idea why I said Sagittarius.
Well,
maybe it's because it's my horoscope sign. I don't know.
You and Taylor Swift are the same sign.
And that's all that they have in common. Pat Kirwan to join us next. The good news is that sometimes he's in the on-deck circle before the segment. He wasn't. That means there's a shot that we get him next. Miller and Moulton. Thanks for listening.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. e-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network. Good morning, Pat.
Good morning, boys.
How's Vegas?
You know what it is. You either love it or don't like it. I'm one of those, I don't care about Vegas, but everybody seems to be having a good time. You know, but the NFL is really strict. If you got a credential from the NFL, don't be caught in a casino.
Really?
Yeah. After the game, you can do whatever you want, but they don't want you at the tables.
Oh, with a credential. So like literally, if you're working Radio Row, they're asking you to take your credential back to your room before you go play blackjack?
Yeah. Now, it's obviously the players and the coaches can't be doing anything, but
right.
I think if you're without credential, no one's bothering you. But it is interesting. They came here and they put themselves right in the middle of stuff they feared the most. I mean, the expression about keep the guys you fear the most or you hate the most close to you. That's what I feel like here. We're scared to death of this product, but we have the biggest set, of course. It's Sirius. It's about 6 sets, but the second and third biggest sets are DraftKings and some other betting place. So it's so clear and obvious that it's a huge part of our world now. But
so, are you doing your show from Radio Row, Pat, or are you somewhere else?
I've been multiple places. So I was in the stadium the first night. I'm going to do 60 interviews, 60, when I get done today with the week. So the first night we did them all in the stadium. So CBS, Westwood One, and ourselves were knocked right next to each other, so the guys could come and go to each one. And then I moved over to Radio Row, and then a couple of things, not many. We've met someone at their hotel, but we don't travel around very much with this. Now I do with CBS. I have a meeting this morning, which I'm sure I'm going to get some assignment. But when I get to Radio Row today, Mark, 4 hours. Now try to do the math in this because I did, and it's impossible. We have 16 interviews scheduled for a 4-hour show, and they like us to talk for 10 minutes. If you do that, it's 2 minutes in between each one. So I asked them to double up a couple guys. We doubled up a couple yesterday, and it worked out great. And if it's a natural double, 2 guys from a team, that kind of thing, we'll do a couple doubles. But
I was going to say, you have 16 segments in a 4-hour show. You would literally have to do every segment would be an interview.
Correct. That's what it was yesterday. Thank God one guy didn't show up, and we actually had a chance to go to the bathroom. Yeah, today's schedule. If I read them to you, you'd start laughing. But people like us interviewing, and a lot of guys won't come on with anyone else. Today we have Stephon Gilmore, Brandon Cooks, Adrian Peterson, Adoree Jackson, Arthur Blank, Mark Shrelith, Aiden Hutchinson, Brian Branch. I'll try to double those two. Orlando Brown, Darius Robinson, Bijan Robinson, Nico Collins, Kyrene Williams, Kyle Hamilton, Kyle Van Noy.
Wow. Those are like names too. Those are like
we only have names. The first night, and I had Andy Reid for 15 minutes, and then I got Spags in there with him. We had both quarterbacks, both head coaches, both coordinators on defense, both coordinators on offense. That's what we were doing. We did the same guy CBS, but CBS they were getting them for 4 and 5 minutes. I know a lot of these guys. They sat down and just kept talking.
Well, and also, Pat, we've talked about it, the difference between radio and TV. Radio, people relax.
Yep.
Okay, TV, that camera, the lights, okay, the answers get shorter. They don't give you the truth. They give you the cliche, standard answer. Just get me to the next question.
Yep. My first question to Andy Reid was, I called Pete the other day to see what he was doing now that he's retired, and he was just back from dropping his kids off at grammar school. But he also told me he was in the middle of sending you a note congratulating you as the oldest coach in the NFL. And he just started laughing. He goes, Pete, you made me feel pretty lousy. So once you start there, everything else falls in place.
Right.
Yep.
But it is.
Do you have a show? Do you have a show tomorrow?
No, I have
Oh,
a rehearsal all day. They have shows, but I can't do them. Yesterday, just to bore you, Michael Penix, Marcus Williams, Kobe Turner, Puka Nakua, Tunsil, Moss. Non-stop.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network.
He got up early for us. He's best friend of the show, arguably, that we have. He's Pat Kirwan, NFL Radio's Moving the Chain, CBS's NFL Today show, joining us live from Vegas, where he is doing double duty, NFL Radio and CBS, of course, having the game on Sunday. He will conduct 60 interviews this week. That's just for his radio show. That doesn't include all the prep work he's doing with CBS. All right, let's cover as much ground as we can, Pat. Pat, of course, joining us once again, courtesy of Pinchers, Tampa to Key West, all points in between, Pinchers, where you can't fake fresh. First off, Hall of Fame, who got in, who didn't? Quickly, your thoughts.
I was really hoping that the Willie Anderson would get in. Thought he deserved to be in. If you did your homework on him, you would have just accepted him. They didn't do it. I'm glad Devin Hester got in. I thought that was one that I'm not a voter for that. Peppers was clear for everyone. Freeney, I thought, was easy for everybody. McMichael, of course, we knew he'd get in. I debated Andre Johnson. I would have preferred Torrey Holt. Patrick Willis, I'm okay. Everyone who doesn't like the Willis selection thought he had to wait a little longer. I know Patrick pretty well. That guy was a superstar from the day he got there. So my relationship with him goes all the way back to Mississippi when Ed Ogeron was the head coach there. And Ed brought me in to talk him into staying an extra year. I said, you could go right now and be an all-pro, but Ed would like you to stay. That's all I remember saying to him, and he stayed.
All right, you've talked to a lot of people about the game, but most importantly, you talked to Andy Reid, Steve Spagnuolo, head coach, defensive coordinator for the Chiefs. Just talk to me about what you think the Chiefs are going to do defensively against San Francisco.
Well, they're multiple pressure calls, and they know that going after Purdy is the right thing to do. And his sack ratio would give Spags a desire to go get him. I think if the ball comes out of his hand in rhythm, which is what he is, you're going to have a problem with those athletes in the open field. They will stop the run. They'll move Chris Jones around. Last week we saw a little bit more of him at defensive end. We'll see him all over the place. And Purdy is a midline thrower. He does run once in a while, but he's not a runner. So he's going to want to throw. And Chris Jones is a guy that can block passes. So I think you'll see him inside on most of the clear passing downs. There's a lot of talent on the 49ers. Everyone seems to be, at least the guys I'm talking to, jumping on Kansas City. I'm going to make my decision today, but I woke up thinking about taking San Francisco, but everyone goes, don't do it. I'm such good friends with Spags. I can't look him in the eye and tell him I took the other team.
Listen, the Chiefs defense has been getting better every week. We've seen what they've done in the playoffs. 5 of the 6 halves they've played, they've been terrific. But during the regular season, they were susceptible to running the ball. Doesn't seem as if any team in the playoffs outside the Bills in the first half really stuck it to them running the ball. All right. And they're susceptible to the slot receiver. Well, Pat, the Niners can run the ball, and Debo in the slot is massive. I mean, where do the Chiefs stop one of these two places where they've had problems?
Yeah. Everything you said is possibly the way they could lose the game. They're a good sack team, but their linebackers, there's some issues that they're worried about. The linebackers, Willie Gay is still making no progress to my knowledge with the neck. And I don't know who you want to put in the slot. You don't have to put Debo there. You can also put Christian McCaffrey in there, and that's another problem in a different way. When I sat down with Debo, and it reminds me how big he is, how physical he is. The guy really looks like a fullback. He does not look like a wide receiver. So if they want to feed him the ball, they'll be fine doing it. I think this lead change. I don't know if there's going to be a lot of scoring. I think the over-under is 47.5, and that seems to be about right for me. Although we're indoors, there's not going to be any weather conditions. They could get over 50. Look, as I said, I'm really leaning towards San Francisco at the 11th hour here because of the matchups. I don't know. Christian McCaffrey, that guy, sit down with that guy someday if you want to find out what the modern new age athlete is. There's nothing about that guy that's not scientifically proven. He has done everything to be the optimum player he can be. To me, it comes down to you believe in Debo, and I'll ask that question back to you, David. I like Debo, and I'm talking about the quarterback Purdy. When it comes right down to it, two questions I ask every week. Who has the best quarterback on the field? Kansas City. Who has the best defense on the field? And that's where I say Kansas City. And because of those two things, it's really hard to go away from them. And I don't like the way San Francisco starts games. And if you look at the second half of games and start looking at really Kansas City's second half, they gave up a total of 10 points in 3 postseason games in the second half. So they get better at halftime, and Spags has plenty of adjustments in his back pocket to shut them down. So there's actually the fourth quarter is scary. 3 points the whole fourth quarter.
Well, and that gets to, and I picked San Francisco, Pat, and I'm scared to death about it for the reasons you just mentioned. But part of it is San Francisco, I've got the reasons for the matchups, but part of the reason that scares me is San Francisco's defense has not played particularly well. And what are they going to do to get to Patrick Mahomes? Because that's the way to beat the Chiefs is somehow get this guy in the ground. And it hasn't happened really in the postseason.
Yeah, I go back to the Green Bay Pittsburgh Steeler game, and I remember talking to Matthews, who was the contained player on the left side, and he just said, we're not letting Roethlisberger out. And he didn't have any sacks in the game. And he goes, if you knew my assignment was to never let him out. And I think you can never let Mahomes outside. So you might not see some sack production from the outside guys, but if you can contain him, and it was funny watching the game they played a couple of years ago that was on TV. It was so interesting because when he threw his interceptions, Mahomes, really, if you watch those, he said, I couldn't break contain, and then I threw it back inside right to the interceptor. I think you're going to see the same thing. Not let him out. And that doesn't mean he's not going to throw for 275, 300. He doesn't have a lot of 300-yard games. If you go through his season, he's like a 250, 270, but it's big play stuff.
Yeah, but Pat, is this defense as good as that Niners defense from 4 years ago? We don't think they're getting the same production from the front four. This is a defense that doesn't blitz a lot. I thought their corners were better 4 years ago than they were now. I'm just wondering if that Niners defense, which it took 2.5 hours for the Chiefs to figure out, we think is better than this one.
I don't disagree in some areas. I mean, Bosa's got to deliver, but he's the guy that should be the contained player. So you're going to give up your best pass rusher to contain? That's the first piece. But to the two linebackers on San Francisco, they are producing at a rate that the others over on Kansas City are not, and that's half of its injury. But if you look at those two guys, Warner and Greenlaw, in 2 postseason games, 35 tackles, 3 tackles for a loss, 3 passes defense, 2 interceptions. But here comes your question. No sacks and no hits on the quarterback. So if you're going to contain, which I think if you let Mahomes outside, you're going to lose. Those guys have to produce pressure and sacks inside. They have not gotten any of it in the postseason.
Talking with Pat Kirwan, NFL Radio's Moving the Chain, CBS Sports NFL Today show as we get ready for Super Bowl 58. When you look back, talking about Spags and his defense, and they've made adjustments at halftime. They've been putting 6 guys in the box. They've been blitzing 5. When you talked about the blitz ratio on Purdy, how do you see Purdy handling this? And what's the best way for San Francisco to get the throwing game going if for some reason they're unable to run it?
Well, Purdy, first off, in 21 pro games, he's been sacked 46 times. And I think if you disturb him, I know Spags. Spags is going to think, cut it off at the head, go get the quarterback, because he doesn't want to have exactly what David describes. You know what he told me last week after the game? Pat, I blitzed the run every play. I thought they were going to run, that being Baltimore. He goes, I thought they'd run. I was blitzing the run, and they weren't running. And my blitzers were falling right into the lap of Lamar. So he's going to blitz the run again. He is definitely going to do that. And he does it with safeties. He does it with his backers. He slants the fronts. He stunts the fronts. He will always think of pressure when under pressure. And I think that'll disturb them. Because, David, the one thing we didn't talk about when we brought up those star players, and I agree, 5 hybrid players, I don't think their offensive line in San Francisco is great.
Well, no, your line guy there is all year has been saying, listen, Trent Williams is tremendous, and the other 4 guys are average. And I think the Chiefs, whether it's by numbers, because I expect a lot of 5- and 6-man fronts from Spags, in which he's going to isolate every blocker to block one-on-one. Okay, in theory, the Chiefs players will be better than the guys blocking them.
I think so, too. I know people want to take a shot, and I do, too, at Kansas City's offensive tackles, which we've done all year. How come there's no sacks all of a sudden in the postseason? Because Kansas City is in a spread set a lot, and they're getting rid of the ball in half a second. Now, if I'm the 49ers, I am storming the bubble screen world. And if you want to beat me on a sluggo once in a while because my guy's coming forward and your guys stop and go, okay, it's going to hurt. But I am not letting you have it down the field the way they are. So chess matches be fun. We've got 2 weeks to talk about it. I'm paralyzed by thinking about it because it's point, counterpoint, and that's all we're going to do. Well, today I got 16 interviews. I don't know how I'm going to do any of this stuff.
Mark brought up earlier in the week, he thinks Kittle's going to have a really big game. We're curious if the Ravens had Kyle Hamilton, which is probably the best safety in the league, and he covered Kelsey a lot, and Kelsey was targeted 11 times and had 11 catches. How are the Niners going to match up against Kelsey, and how are the Chiefs going to match up, quite frankly, against Kittle if the Niners decide that they're going to feature him?
Well, Kittle has not had a very productive postseason, and I'm comparing him to Kelsey on this one. He's only had 10 targets in the 2 games. 10 targets. Now, they got a lot of guys who want the ball, but when you have 10 targets in two games and 6 receptions and here's the thing, 3 first downs. He's moved the chain 3 times in the postseason in 2 games. So can you live with 1.5 to 2 move the chains? Yes. Is he 100% healthy? No. Now, he's going to play and he won't feel the pain in that toe. But I looked at this because Kelsey, as we know, has been dominating in the postseason. He was pretty quiet the last month of the regular season, but his 27 targets in 3 games, 22 receptions, and here's the killer, 14 first downs. And we all know that there's a lot of, now this all really, as Andy Reid said, the crossroads for them was Christmas Day, embarrassed by the Raiders. They stopped using Kelsey in protection. He's out all the time now, freelancing on his routes. Here's why I think Kelsey's going to have a much bigger day. I went back and looked at Laporta, who to me is the youth version of Kelsey. I went and looked at him against San Francisco. You know what he did? 13 targets, 9 receptions, and 5 first downs. So if Laporta can do that to San Francisco, so can Kelsey. So I'll bet on Kelsey over Kittle.
I will too. I just think Kittle can have a big game the way they cover the slots. I think Kittle's an X factor just the same way I think Pacheco can be an X factor for Kansas City, Pat. I think they've got to be able to run the ball. You talked about the screen game. I think Pacheco's a big part of the offense for Kansas City.
And Andy Reid said to me in the spring, what did he say to me? In the spring, the summer, and the early fall, I perfect the passing game. And when we get to the cold weather, because I said to him, you have quietly upgraded your running game. You did it last year. You're doing it again. And when you look at Pacheco in the last few weeks has upped his touches to over 20.3 between his receiving and his running. So, yeah, Andy looked me straight in the eye and goes, you ain't kidding. We have to be a better run team. Now, David and I and you, Mark, and we all know that Andy never changes spots. He's indoors right now. His cold weather philosophy with Pacheco isn't the same. He's in a place where he can throw all day, and his brain has always been throw first, run second.
Well, and the irony is Shanahan's the opposite, but in some big spots as the play caller, he's avoided the running game and thrown it a little too much. So
He's got some ghosts in his closet about
yes,
these
he
kind of
does.
games.
And remember, Andy had these ghosts too 4 years ago in the Super Bowl. He couldn't win the big game. He had lost his majority of conference championship games. He's trailing by 2 scores. And then Andy got the monkey off his back. Kyle's got to do it on Sunday. Pat, we know you're still working on your pick. Best of luck.
No, I got to have it with you guys. I'll take
All right,
Kansas
10
City.
seconds.
Kansas City, here I come.
There it is. Pat Kirwan going with the Chiefs. Probably the smart play, taking the quarterback and the defense.
Give me the points, Mark. Give me those 1.5.
I'll give you the 1.5.
Thank you very much. That half is a killer.
Pat Kirwan, NFL Radio's moving the chains today 3 to 7, and then he'll be prepping the guys, providing the information for the NFL Today show, which will be about 17 hours long before kickoff.
Hey.
Pat, great weekend. Safe travels. We'll talk next week.
Very good,
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Do you remember your first kiss? How about your first date? I'll bet you can recall that first Valentine's Day you were together. Or maybe that'll be this year. Valentine's Day is a celebration of love and affection, and this is where the Diamond District shines. Diamonds make a perfect Valentine's gift. Whether you're getting engaged or choosing a beautiful gift to fine jewelry, you'll want to visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District. For Valentine's Day this year, Jason and Todd are offering you 5 years interest-free financing. Choose a beautiful diamond bracelet for $1,500, and you pay $25 per month. Stunning diamond earrings for $5,000, and you pay only $83 per month. Valentine's Day starts with Jason and Todd at the Diamond District and ends in romance as she unwraps her beautiful new diamond bracelet, stunning diamond earrings, or magical gemstone jewelry, including emeralds, sapphires, rubies, tanzanite, and more. Jason and Todd look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to their Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
I love going to break with Pat. It always keeps you on your toes.
He doesn't care about time cues.
Because he can see you, right?
Oh, yeah.
He
can see me.
He can see you counting down. Just remember when that one day that David was in the studio and he was like, "Hey, real quick, let me tell you about the Senior Bowl." And David goes, "No," and then it goes to break.
See, his show only has one hard break an hour. It's at the top, heading into the top of the hour. So,
yeah.
And if you ever listen to his show, Jim plays the host, and there are times when Jim wants to go to break, and Pat's like, "Wait a minute, I got one more thing I got to say." So, and it's like, okay,
He is the best. He just loves to give you all his. He's the opposite of that baseball writer we had.
Yes.
Yeah. He didn't. He didn't.
So bad.
I know, that was funny. He did not think he would be able to do today when I talked to him early in the week, and I said, "Listen, we understand. Okay, you got a lot going on, and And then last night he texted me. He said, "Hey, let's do it tomorrow." I'm like, "Are you sure?" I go, "What?" I go, "It's 5:38 a.m. your time. Are you sure?" He's like, "Yes." I'm like, okay, great.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So we got very lucky with Pat, and he took a liking to us very early on. He wants to talk football. And we didn't know it at the time. It was just kind of the way we did the show, but we'd bring him on and we'd talk football. And I know that sounds stupid. Well, yeah, of course you're going to talk football. You're bringing on a football guest, but there's a lot of side issues, like if you watch those talking head shows, do you think they're talking football, or are they talking about,
headlines?
Just a lot of BS. And Pat wants nothing to do with the BS. And I just think, and I think it also helped us that we were located, I don't think when we first had him on, I don't know if he had a place in Southwest Florida or we didn't.
I think he did. We just didn't know he did.
Right. We didn't know it.
We hooked him up with a couple of good things.
And then he could, his friends would, start, "Hey, I heard you guys on Miller and Moulton." So
that was the thing that did it. His West Bay guys all listen to this show.
It's pretty cool.
It was so funny when we were getting to know him. Okay, I think like one of the first things that Mark and Pat bonded over, they all started talking about all the guys who were in the cart area at West Bay. Mark knew them all, and Pat knew them all.
I knew all the cart barn guys at West Bay. I still know a couple of them, but at the time I knew most of the cart barn.
Here we go.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
It is the Diamond District bonus hour on this Football Friday.
Football Friday.
Super Bowl 58 in about 57 hours in Vegas. Unbelievable that this is actually happening.
It really is, David.
It's and in 2024, not 2034. It was less than a decade ago. They literally threatened to ban Romo from the league if he went through with a fantasy football event in Vegas. Fantasy football. And now there's a franchise and the Super Bowl there.
And DraftKings and FanDuel have two of the biggest presences at Radio Row at the Super Bowl.
You and I think if nothing bad happens in the next 48 hours, like, Joe Buck, Boomer Esiason, a few others thought something's not going to go well in Vegas. Whether it's a behavior or whether it's just there's going to be a gambling controversy that we're going to find out about, whether it's before the game or shortly thereafter. But, if this game is event, there's no incident of any kind. There's no controversy coming out of this game. SoFi in Los Angeles seems to be now in every 5-6 year thing. They're going back there. They're doing the Super Bowl. Don't you think that if nothing happens in the next few days, they just have the game, everybody has a good time, they leave town? Don't you think we're going every 5-6 years to Vegas?
David, I even think if there's an incident, as long as it's not a major incident, so a player gets busted with a hooker. I think there's a lot of things that could happen that would do nothing to detract from this game going to Vegas. Ticket prices have never been higher for a Super Bowl, David, even though they've dropped some. Suites have never been sold for more money. Come on.
I have to admit, at the price for the suites, my mouth was agape at that. I don't know, granted, I haven't bought a whole lot of suites in my day, but $2.5 million for a suite
seems pricey.
It does. It really does. I understand it's the Super Bowl and you got limited suites and what have you, although you got a decent number of them there. The stadium's a little smaller. It's actually a touch more intimate. It's designed, if anybody's been to the Phoenix, all right, it's built, I think, by the same company. It's just a little smaller. It's like 6,000 less seats. So the upper deck's not as expansive. The field doesn't quite angle further away the way it does a little bit in Phoenix. This is a little bit more intimate setting. So there you go.
But David, I put it this way. If we're lucky enough, you and I have joked that you're going to try to get me through high school with my daughter.
Yes.
On this show. That's our goal.
Right. She turns 9 in May.
10 in May.
I'm sorry. That's right. 10 in May. So, what do we have? She's in 4th grade, right?
Going into 5th years. Yeah. Yeah. So we've got
8 more years at least.
8 more years.
Right.
I think we'll make it as a show to a Vegas Super Bowl.
Wow. That they'll be back during that time.
Yes. Guaranteed.
All right. Here's the deal then. And if we can pull this off, I do not want to hear. You're Mr. Dad right now. You're to and from the events and the cooking and the whole deal. No offense. Okay, we gotta go. If we can pull this off, somebody's got to pinch hit for you.
There's no doubt. And by that point, she'll be sick of me and hopefully won't be playing 47 sports, doing 13 extracurriculars. I went from play practice to the dentist. Dinner, soccer, then softball. I even managed to bake a loaf of bread in the middle of that yesterday.
Wow. You can buy those.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. All right.
You can bake them too.
Apparently, somebody does, but I wait till somebody does it and then I buy them. They wrap it for you and everything. So,
So yes, you're right. Mr. Mom was full on yesterday.
Right. By the way, you didn't go to that 7:30 practice at night, did you?
Oh yeah.
Oh, for goodness sakes. You needed to take a stand. You need to say it's too late. Sorry, we're not going. It's ridiculous. 7:30 at night practice.
Starting,
right.
7:30 till 9. We got a break last night because somehow somebody must have felt the same way we did because literally all the lights at the park shut off at 8:30.
That's fantastic. I think it was
practice ended. Well, that's literally the coach looked at all the parents and goes, I don't know which one of you is responsible for turning the lights out, but thank you.
Well, if you told me that, I would have turned them off at 8. But yes, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. The next Super Bowl in Vegas, we're going. You do realize the show starts at 3 a.m. though.
I don't care.
Okay. All right. Now, do we want to do it from Radio Row when there's nobody there at 3 in the morning, or do we want to set up in like the
Oh, I want Radio Row 3 in the morning with nobody there.
You want me screaming and yelling with 4 security guards, don't you?
And I want to interview those security guards.
We will. We will. Never mind the food order people bringing us our Dunkin' or what have you. Yeah, no, come on the air. We got a few minutes. All right. I'm in. Next 3 Super Bowls, by the way, New Orleans, San Francisco, Los Angeles. Next 3. That's all they've announced thus far.
When are they making the announcements of future Super Bowls?
Well, they were a year late in announcing Los Angeles for Super Bowl 61 as to normally when they do it. They usually do it at an owners meeting, sometime in March, sometime in May. It's usually when they do it.
Because you mentioned, Indy hasn't had one in a long time.
Dallas hasn't had one since Packers Steelers, which, by the way, once again, can you believe that's the last time either of those 2 teams has been in the Super Bowl? That was the 2010 season. That was Super Bowl 45. Those 2 teams have won a lot of games in 13 years. Neither one of them's been back to it. That we would have lost so much money if that was a prop bet. Remember, Aaron Rodgers hasn't been back.
Right.
Ben never went back. But yeah, that was Dallas. The next year was Giants, Patriots in Indianapolis. We haven't been, John Perry, who we had on the show yesterday, he did that game. He was the referee. They haven't been back to Indy.
I mean, Atlanta's been 5 years. Atlanta's kind of on that rotation. They're a great event city.
I don't think Tampa's going to be the fallback city. Okay, Tampa would be lucky to get a Super Bowl in 10 years. And it's not a Tampa thing. It's just it's kind of like I think Tampa's Carnoustie in the open rotation. It's just it's not the first choice. If we have to fall back, every 10 years we'll do Carnoustie. It's not where we want to go first. It'll always be the second choice.
David, I don't know if we'll see another Tampa Super Bowl.
I think they owe them one because the last Super Bowl they got was a COVID year. So I do think the league owes Tampa a Super Bowl.
Okay.
I know.
But it would be very reluctant for them to give them one. I mean, like you just with Nashville out there, now with Vegas, LA. I mean,
they're in love with Phoenix. Phoenix seems to be in the rotation. New Orleans, hell, we just went from, the last Super Bowl in New Orleans was the Harbaugh Bowl. That was the 2012 season. They're going to go nearly 15. What are they going to go? 12 years in between Super Bowls in New Orleans. I always thought Miami was going to be in the rotation. But now, Miami was the 2019 season, and they're not going to get any of the next 3. So, you're talking about going on about 8+ years for Miami to get a Super Bowl. Take a look historically. That's a long time for Miami not hosting a game. So, yeah, now Miller and Moulton think this game's got to start coming back east. 5 out of 6 out west by the time we get through Super Bowl 61 in L.A. We think, Dallas, and by the way, what if Chicago builds a dome stadium?
They're getting one.
You're darn right they are. I mean, Goodell all but said it Monday because he was asked about it. So, and when you build a new stadium, if it's in decent weather, you get the game, and Nashville's going to build a new stadium, and it'll be ready by the end of the decade. Usually first year stadiums open, they don't give it to you. They give it to you for the second year that you're open. Work out any kinks, if there's any construction delays, what have you. So,
and Nashville's proven with the draft, with the Stanley Cup final, that they are ready and prepared to hold major events in that city.
For what it's worth, it's our poll question. Who's going to win Super Bowl 58? Chiefs and Niners. And Mark went with the Niners, and I went with the Chiefs. That Mark Miller, the David Moulton, FloridaSportsNetwork.com. Trent, don't think we've asked you. Gut feeling. Oh, first off, have you gotten over the Lions' disappointment to the? Can you watch the game?
Yes.
Okay. All right, that's good because we have Lions fans who have texted the show 21,000 in the Twitch chat room, and they're like, "Yeah, I'm not over it. I don't think I'm watching."
Which I am fine with, by the way. If you feel that way, I'm not going to tell you.
Is your brother still not watching?
Yeah, little brother.
Yeah, I'm calling BS on that.
He's dating the Swiftie, and
Right.
he is very over the Taylor Swift stuff too.
Oh, she's watching. So how's he not going to watch?
Because they don't. She lives in Michigan. He lives in Nashville.
Oh, okay. One of those long distance things. That'll work out well.
Wow. Look at you just throwing some water on that one.
All those ugly girls in Nashville.
I got no comment.
Okay. Already then.
Guy plays music and there's bachelorette parties by the thousands in that city.
That is how he makes his money. He pays the rent. But anyways, David, I think
he does more than that. So, all right.
Chiefs. That's who I want. That's who I'm rooting for. That's who I believe is going to win. Yes. Patrick Mahomes is the Brady of nowadays where you just don't bet against him. The only Super Bowl he lost was to Brady. He's got that it factor. He's not losing. Andy Reid preparation. There's a lot of ways to spin it.
All right. So there we have it. That Mark Miller, the David Moulton, FloridaSportsNetwork.com. Who you picking? Niners or Chiefs? Miller and Moulton. Thanks for listening.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When choosing something of high value and personal significance, such as a diamond, you want to shop with the best. And the mall is not the place to be. Here are my friends, Jason and Todd, with the Diamond District.
Take a stroll in the mall, hop into a few Joy stores, and you'll soon discover you're in the wrong place. Rings begin to look all alike. You're not finding GIA certified diamonds. You quickly realize you know more than a salesperson helping you, and all the same financing gets pushed on you.
Visit Jason and me, and you'll find America's top bridal designers dealing exclusively with the Diamond District. You'll find the largest selection of GIA certified diamonds, all priced 8 to 10% over cost. You'll find educated sales consultants who have many years' experience and are not paid commissions.
And you'll find Todd and me in the store nearly every day, wanting to shake your hand and welcome you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
I forget who it was who talked about Jacksonville in a Super Bowl. So the only chance Jacksonville has of getting another Super Bowl is when they do this stadium project, which is going to be $2 billion. It's going to be half paid by the owner and half paid by the city and county. Will they reward Khan by giving him a Super Bowl? It's been 20 years since the Jacksonville Super Bowl. The stadium's not going to get done for another 5 years. So it's going to be almost 30 years in theory. Would they, say to Khan, hey, you took $1 billion out of your pocket. Okay, here's a little something for the effort. They've done that before. Owners do that for owners. Here's, however, the big problem. The NFL has a rule. You have to have.
Hey, Mike's.
You have to have 35% of the capacity of the stadium, hotel rooms in your city and surrounding area. And the NFL considers surrounding area a 60-minute drive. So Daytona's a little too far because Daytona's 80 to 90 miles. So, that stadium max capacity is around 80. So you need 30,000 hotel rooms if you need 35%. Okay, 28,000 to 30,000 hotel rooms. In Duval County, which is the county that Jacksonville's in, big county, right now they have 19,000 hotel rooms. They need 10 more thousand hotel rooms.
It's a lot of hotel rooms.
That's a lot of hotel rooms just outside of Duval County. Trust me, they don't exist. And that stat that I got's a year ago. Now, they're building hotels here like crazy, but so I don't. And they're building downtown hotels, and they are, but that's 10,000 in 10 years. Can you see 10,000 extra hotel rooms being available within an hour of where Jacksonville plays? I don't see it. How about that rule, by the way? 35% of capacity, hotel rooms. Your city has to have that or else forget it.
Well, but that's in most major cities. That's probably not even close to a problem.
I understand, but by the way, I find that interesting in Tampa. Okay, within an hour, like do they count Orlando? I don't think so. That now Ray J's small, but still you need 25,000 hotel rooms. 22,000. But obviously Tampa's got it. Now, technically an hour's drive. They can count Sarasota. Well, Tampa hosted 3 years ago, Yenzer. But Tampa was in the rotation. They did Raiders, Redskins. Then, like 7 years later, they did Giants, Bills. Then 10 years later, they did Ravens, Giants.
Here we go.
Welcome to the bonus hour, brought to you by Jason and Todd at the Diamond District. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. Thanks so much for being with us. Miller and Moulton on this Football Friday.
Football Friday.
Our final one of the year. Man, it's a long off season. Don't want to depress you. If you're a college football fan, if that's your number one sport, you've been in withdrawal for a month already. Oh boy. Can we sell you on March Madness, Masters, spring training,
March Madness,
baseball?
5 weeks away from the madness.
Huh? Baseball season starting up. NBA, NHL playoffs. Come on now, you can do it. You can do it. We can do it together.
We will do it together. We will help you. And you'll help us.
We're not like those people, help you get in shape, first of the year. No, that's just trying to get your money. We're for free. We're going to be here for you 5 days a week.
So you have to go on a sports diet. You're going to have to give up football for a few months. We understand it's difficult.
But there will be certain times in which we can bring that food back in. Free agency, draft. All right. There will be trades, as player movement. I mean, we'll do this slowly. Summer will be tough. Not going to lie. We got about 3 months here to condition you. And then we're going to have to take a little break. It'll be okay. We've done it before. We can do it again. So there.
That's your public service announcement. Yep. As football is drawing to a close.
Right. Don't want anybody being sad. Don't be sad. Enjoy the game. Enjoy the weekend. Stuff your face, by the way. Okay? I don't care that you started your shape up and what have you. Tough. It's like on vacation. Calories don't count on vacation. They don't count on Super Bowl Sunday either. I don't care that you just went to your doctor. All right? Cholesterol, sugar for a day. It's a day. Just put it to the side.
Will you shop tomorrow or Sunday for your, because I know you're not cooking anything. You're going to buy pre-made food, would be my guess.
Mark, what do you mean I'm not cooking? I spent all that money on a brand new kitchen.
Have you used it yet?
Well, what's your definition of use?
Stove and oven.
Well, oven's been used.
To reheat or to actually cook something?
Well, remember, we did Thanksgiving.
Okay.
So, now, since Thanksgiving, not so sure. And I don't know how many times the stove has been used. I mean, I use the stove when I come in with the groceries. That's where I put everything on top of. Because I know it's cold. It's not like any of the burner's warm. I mean, there's no chance of burning down the house, putting something on the stove. It's not like it's hot or anything. So
if I were to say, since you've had the whole kitchen redone, because obviously you had to use the stove at Thanksgiving.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Outside of Thanksgiving, have you used the stove and oven more or less than 5 times?
Oh, boy. Less. Yeah. We're wearing out the microwave.
Well, we know that.
Right. There's not much that can't be microwaved. Yeah. I mean, I cooked, I heated up some the meat and mac and cheese last night, and I had the choice. I could have used the stove. I could have used the microwave. One's right on top of the other. I said, let's use the microwave. Let's go that route.
That kitchen, whoever buys that condo from you is going to get a great kitchen.
Well, they are. I mean, they'll go, man, it's 30 years old. Yeah, lightly used. It's like buying the car. Wow, it's got 40,000 miles on it. It's 20 years old. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. She hardly used it. Mark, this is how bad it is, and I can't believe I'm going to say this publicly. So I only know one way to use the microwave. There is a button on it in which it says add 30 seconds.
Yep. Love that button.
Well, it's the only one that I can figure out. And so I put everything in the microwave, and I'm sure there's a way to actually, type in, 2.5 minutes or what have you.
You just hit the add 35 times.
Right. I have to make sure, go slowly, hit it and go, okay, time to add 30 more. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. So that's how I did the meat and the gravy and the mac and cheese.
If I challenged you right now to use the stove and oven, would you know how to turn both on? I don't mean asking your wife or mother-in-law. If I said preheat the oven at 350 right now, could you do that?
Well, I can't imagine that the oven works. You just take the knob and you turn it. I mean,
they're mostly digital now. So you're
okay, well then there's got to be a keyboard where you type in 350
exactly.
and
I'll tell you what.
Start.
I'll tell you what. During the commercial break coming up,
well,
humor me.
How about if I do it now?
How about walk into your kitchen and see if you can preheat the oven? I know you can turn the knobs on to turn the stove on. I'm confident that I could get you to boil a pot of water.
But why would I need to boil a pot of water?
Just because you were going to cook pasta, David. I don't know.
Well, there's really no need for that. I mean, I don't know. I guess maybe once a month, maybe.
But I want to see if, if I said, David, make me a baked potato, I need you to turn the oven on, preheat the oven, and have it ready for after the show. I want to see if you could accomplish that.
No, I just call ahead to Outback and drive down the road and get it for you. Nah, there's no sense. I get it for you much faster.
That's true.
And on the way, I could probably pick up some food for myself too. So,
well, I like where you're getting my baked potato from. That makes me feel very good because you know how fond I am of that place.
Well, but I don't think you have a problem with how they do baked potatoes. Okay, it's all the rest that you have a problem. I mean, how badly can you screw up a baked potato?
It's a great point. I like that you threw that in.
Yeah. Listen, I'm just telling the truth. That's what I would do. You would say, hey, listen, you use your kitchen and, I want this. And I go, okay, all right. Yeah, absolutely. And I just go down the street and pick it all up, come back. I'm just hoping that, I've got enough actual dinnerware. I'd hate to have to break out the paper plates and the plastic stuff. I mean, I'd at least want to give you real plates and silverware.
Do you guys use those?
Yeah, actually, we do. Much to your shock, okay, we don't use paper plates and plastic. I know. I know.
Well, you really gourmet that fast food up by putting it on the plate.
We do. Yes.
Pour the fries right out of the container onto the plate. They look good that way.
Absolutely. Look at I cooked. Right. That's what we tell each other. Look, I cooked. Okay, we take the fast food and what have you, and we put it on real plates. Yeah, I cooked. But no, by the way, we did that poll question leading up to Super Bowl 58. Well over 80% of you are just staying home, not even going over to a friend's party. And only 5-6% of you said you're going out to a sports bar, which makes me sad because, we want the sports bars to, it's their last football game too. We want them to do well.
Yeah, they'll be back for March Madness the first weekend there. And they've tried to take that away from the sports bar because they put it all on so you can actually watch all of those at home if you want to.
Right. I'll tell you what, though, the first day of the tournament at a sports bar, when we're all rooting for the underdog and we have no idea their name and what conference they're from, their nickname, we don't care.
That's actually when we should be in Vegas for the first 4 days of the tournament.
Yeah, it really is.
I have a friend who's done it 30 straight years. They've gone out in March for the tournament.
Wow. I got a friend that works for Veasan. Okay. He's got a casino with a studio he could probably get us access to. I don't know about at 3 a.m. though, but I'll work on them.
That would be something.
Okay. Trent's like, listen, I can't wait to get off the show, but if you guys are going to do that, I might stick around. Good, bad, and ugly. What's on tap? Today was the day when, and final thought and prediction or two coming up.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Do you remember your first kiss? How about your first date? I'll bet you can recall that first Valentine's Day you were together. Or maybe that'll be this year. Valentine's Day is a celebration of love and affection, and this is where the Diamond District shines. Diamonds make a perfect Valentine's gift. Whether you're getting engaged or choosing a beautiful gift to fine jewelry, you'll want to visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District. For Valentine's Day this year, Jason and Todd are offering you 5 years interest-free financing. Choose a beautiful diamond bracelet for $1,500, and you pay $25 per month. Stunning diamond earrings for $5,000, and you pay only $83 per month. Valentine's Day starts with Jason and Todd at the Diamond District and ends in romance as she unwraps her beautiful new diamond bracelet, stunning diamond earrings, or magical gemstone jewelry, including emeralds, sapphires, rubies, tanzanite, and more. Jason and Todd look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to their Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
I'll leave him up on this branch, and he'll wake up when the bad guys roll through. Cut to a short time later, and my man, you just got cheek fucked by some poisonous venom. In the 19-
Guy kills me. Have you ever seen that Mike? It's Camerlengo. He does the movies breakdown in 60 seconds of a movie.
Sounds entertaining.
He's funny. He did the Steve Ballmer with the, where he's going nuts. That's one of the first ones I saw that he broke that whole thing down in 60 seconds.
And if that didn't work, I don't know. Might have to go back to every 30 seconds on the microwave. And you should see my wife walking around. She's got a boot on her foot, which hurts her hip because she's unbalanced. And so that's really bad for her hips. So it's working on her foot, which she has a stress fracture. And
how did she get the stress fracture in her foot?
I don't know. What they really think, quite frankly, Mark, is that her bones, she's like a 90-year-old woman's,
Just brittle.
Yeah. And so stuff's just breaking on her. Bless you.
Thank you. It's funny. While I hate Outback, I have no problem with Bonefish or Carrabba's. Their other two restaurants.
By the way, tonight, 2 ranked teams on the road.
Uh-oh.
Although, do you take VCU at home against Dayton? It's basically a pick 'em.
Yes.
I was going to say VCU is a tough place to play and win. But Nevada is actually a slight favorite at home.
Who are they playing?
San Diego State, your beloved Aztecs.
Yeah, I love the Wolfpack more, though. When Eric Musselman was there, that was always my... I love Eric Musselman. I'm a huge...
Isn't Alford there now?
Yes. I think. Hang on. Let me double check.
Probably most of it, though, Arch.
Yes, it is Alford.
Is there literally only three college basketball games tonight? Why am I only getting 3 games?
Are you on the ranked?
No, I've got all conferences.
Yeah. There's only 3 games.
Gosh, they should be cashing in tonight.
It's always Friday's been an awful night. It's a big college hockey night, though, isn't it?
Send it in, Jerome. Here we go.
Welcome to the bonus hour, brought to you by Jason and Todd at the Diamond District. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
22 minutes till the top of the hour, 16 until we're out of here. Miller and Moulton, thanks so much for being with us. Time's running out. Wednesday's Valentine's Day. You're out and about this weekend. This game's not till Sunday night, 6:30. May want to visit Todd and Jason beforehand. Just saying. Because if you do it next week, you don't want to be doing it on a Monday or a Tuesday night. I mean, they'll be open. They'll be there for you. But, I mean, come on.
Why wouldn't you just go Wednesday at your lunch hour?
Well, this isn't like grabbing flowers at Publix. I mean, come on now. I mean, it's
I'll take
Valentine's
some flowers,
Day.
some diamond earrings, and give me that pendant over there. You guys got an 8 and under aisle?
What would it be at a jeweler? Would it be one? One item or less? I mean, or just one item?
One item.
The one item aisle. Everything else would be 2 or more. So, our poll question, by the way, who do you like in the game? Chiefs or Niners? Mark's got the Niners. I got the Chiefs. That Mark Miller, the David Moulton, FloridaSportsNetwork.com.
It's time for someone to take back this segment, if for no other reason than to stop David from talking about Meghan and Harry. Here's Mark Miller with Today Was the Day When.
I'm not joking, David. This is the worst day in human history, apparently. Nothing happened.
Okay, February 9th.
I mean, we've got 1825. The House of Representatives elects John Quincy Adams as our 6th president. 1961, the Beatles play their first gig at the Cavern Club in Liverpool. 1964, the Beatles play the Ed Sullivan Show for the first time.
That was a biggie.
73.7 million people viewed that.
Oh, remember, there's only 3 channels. But it was on at night. So.
And in 1985, Like a Virgin goes #1 by Madonna.
Trent, wish you were old enough. Because, you asked the question earlier in the week, has there ever been a female pop star as big as Taylor Swift? And Miller and Moulton said, Madonna was pretty big.
Pretty damn big. Our 9th president, William Henry Harrison, Bill Veeck, and Ernest Tubbs all born today. Singer Carole King's 82, Joe Pesci's 81, Mia Farrow's 79, Danny White is 72, Sandy Lyle 66, John Kruk 63, and Vlad Guerrero Sr.'s 48 years old today.
Happy birthday to Crucker. Spends time in Southwest Florida.
Yeah.
He's getting ready to go to Clearwater for Philly spring training. Happy birthday to Crucker.
So what did I miss?
Well, if I want to go chronologically in order, today was not just did not much happen today, Mark. You could argue that some of the stuff that happened today was really detrimental. Daylight savings time was instituted today in 1942.
Okay.
There are a lot of us that are kind of like,
I think it should be daylight savings time all the time.
Okay, but then in theory, wouldn't that then be our new time?
Yes.
It wouldn't be a thing.
I wouldn't be going back and forth.
So, today in 1942, we did that. It was today in 50, by the way, that McCarthy first publicly came out and said, "We got communists everywhere." Oh boy. And if you said this, I'm sorry. Magic in the All-Star game.
Oh.
Today in 92, remember it was November 7th of 91 that he announced he had HIV, and he subsequently retired. And then 3 months later, he made his triumphant return at the All-Star game. He was MVP, and it was big. It was big. So that was today.
You've heard folks elsewhere mock Florida is gonna Florida. Well, Mark Miller sees it differently. He calls it the good, the bad, and the ugly. What you got, Mark?
We go to Tampa for the good, where a loose kangaroo is back with his owner. Deputies responded to a call in Tampa for a loose kangaroo that was trapped in an apartment complex pool area. According to the Hillsborough County Agricultural Unit, the kangaroo was reunited with its owner after proper registrations for ownership were verified. I didn't know you could own a kangaroo.
How big is the paperwork on proving if that's your kangaroo? What, are there 4 others in the neighborhood? Of all the animals, honestly, you turn around, in your backyard, you have a big lanai. You turn around, you looked, of all the animals that could be in your lanai. Okay, if you saw a kangaroo, wouldn't you go, "Well, I'll be damned"?
No kidding.
I mean, a alligator? No, you'd go, "Oh, okay, Florida." A bear,
right?
A panther,
a coyote, right?
But a kangaroo. I mean, I actually think I'd be taking pictures and I'd be going, "Is this a kangaroo? This looks like a kangaroo. It's in my backyard. I live in Florida, not Melbourne either."
For the bad, we go to Jackson Hole, Wyoming, where skiers had a hell of a time last week when a moose was chasing skiers and snowboarders down a mountain in Jackson Hole. Video shared to Facebook, you can see a skier on his snowboard going down the hill, telling people to go faster as you watch a moose chasing after them. For the record, David, Alaska leads all states in the U.S. with 175,000 moose statewide. Maine has 60,000 moose. In Wyoming, there are only 3,500 moose. So the odds of seeing one is rare, let alone being chased by one down a mountain. For those wondering, moose can run at speeds of up to 35 miles per hour.
All right. Who's counting the moose? Seriously. I mean, we every 10 years we do the census and people debate, the count in this country. Who the heck's counting moose? And we're counting them by state? Seriously? Have you ever met anybody? What do you do for a living? I count moose. I'm calling BS. We're just throwing numbers out there.
Finally, the ugly. We go to North Fort Myers, where Kimberly Pages crashed her car into an electric box, causing her vehicle to ignite in flames. She went fleeing on foot at that point. When deputies show up to a no-driver, passengerless car, all engulfed in flames, witnesses said they saw the driver take off. They didn't have to go far. She made it to a Walmart down the road. She was busted there. Not only was she drunk, she had a small bag of Peruvian marching powder in her purse.
There we go.
Spend a little more time in the pokey. That is the good, the bad, and the ugly on today, February the 9th, 2024.
It's not a big sports night at all. It's not good. I'm kind of curious, how many of you Sunday afternoon, you're looking for something to watch, you're not going to watch the 19-hour pregame show. You're looking for something to watch. How many of you will tune in Caitlin Clark at 1 o'clock on Fox Sunday? 39 points away from becoming the all-time leading scorer.
David, I put it on last night for a little bit. I watched Big Ten Network, Penn State and Iowa women's basketball.
I'm telling you. And when she goes to the WNBA, you going to watch? I mean, if you're watching her at Iowa, why wouldn't you watch her? I think if she comes out in the draft this year and she's the first pick, I think Indiana has the first pick.
I definitely will watch some because I'm fascinated by this. She won't be as good at the pros as she is in college, but I want to see if she can be a dominant player in the WNBA. I am fascinated to see how good she can be.
Well, I mean, come on. We all saw Steph in college and what he did, that junior year when he, near took him to the Final Four. They lost in the region final to Kansas when Kansas won the national title. And Steph's even better, in the pros than he was at Davidson. I mean, don't you think her game, isn't her game Steph's game? If his game could then be fine at the next level, don't you think her game could?
Yes.
It'll translate well, I think. She won't be a good defender, but who
is
what are we
Steph
talking about here? No, that's my point. Yeah,
and not only that, I mean, does anybody care?
When you can shoot like that, no.
So, anyway, just throwing that out there. There aren't a lot of NBA. You know how they used to have a bunch of NBA prop bets? The NBA is only playing 2 games Sunday. One of them's the Heat hosting the Celtics at 2 o'clock, but don't know what the prop bets are based on probably Jimmy Butler points versus Chiefs or Niners points, stuff like that. But anyway, there's only 3 men's college basketball games tonight.
3 in the whole
country, right? Seems like a missed opportunity.
2 of them are supposed to be good, though. Close lines.
Well, and not only that, they fit our criteria.
They do.
Ranked team on the road, home team. Now, one's an underdog, one's actually a small favorite. Dayton's on the road, a slight favorite at VCU. VCU is a tough place to play. Ask anybody who watches A-10 basketball. They press, and that place is always packed. And San Diego State's at Nevada. Nevada is actually a slight favorite. San Diego State's
all 3 home teams tonight. Might just play a 3-team parlay.
Oh, well, you and your beloved Colorado State there. Big favorite at home, laying 15.5 against San Jose State, who's terrible. So so we're gonna do 4 bets tonight. We're gonna take the home team into each individual home team, and then we're gonna.
Then we're going for big money. Not even teasing it. 3-team parlay. Looking for the big hit tonight before the Super Bowl. So we can really go nuts on the Super Bowl.
And David, even though tonight is not a big night for college hoops, there is a ton of good games on Saturday.
Yes. Yeah. No, it's a great weekend of college basketball, men's and women's. It's a terrific weekend. By the way, hats off to the FGC women. Last night, that was a first-place showdown, and they do what they seemingly always do. They handled Central Arkansas by 22. They've won 13 in a row. They just won 20 games for the 20th consecutive season. They're undoubtedly going to win 25 games on the year because they have I think 6 more regular season games left. Never mind the ASUN playoffs. And when they win 25 games, that will extend them and UConn's streak of, I think, 14 years in a row of winning 25 or more games. Absolutely remarkable.
It really is. The job he and they have done over there is, and it's funny because they started gaining some traction nationally.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like they've lost some of that. And I don't know why, David. I don't get it.
Yeah, this year's team, because FGC has finished ranked 4 years in a row. Finished the season ranked.
Right.
4 years in a row. This year, I will say the team seems to be a little different, a little less scoring, a little more defense. They don't have a high-profile player yet. And they did beat North Carolina on a neutral floor. North Carolina has been ranked a whole year. I think they just fell out of the rankings for the first time. But FGCU, they got thumped by Iowa, but the very next night on a neutral floor beat North Carolina.
Well, let's look at the teams that Iowa's thumped this year, too.
Right. And also FGCU beat Kentucky, for what it's worth.
But I still don't think it's enough to get them an at-large bid. They're going to have to win the rest of their games to get in the tournament. The Nets in the 60s. It probably, with last night, might jump to 59.
Right. If they keep gaining like one notch per win, they could be in the conference final and have a net probably in the high 40s. Usually the last at-large team is in the low to mid 40s. So we'll see. And this goes back to, unfortunately, the conference they're in doesn't do a good job of promoting it. You know, the ASUN actually has some good teams in other sports. It's softball, they get multiple bids. They've gotten multiple bids in baseball. FGCU women have never gotten an at-large bid. And there's been at least one other time that they deserved it. So let's hope they don't need it.
Exactly. But congratulations to Coach Semesco, another 20-win season, and the FGCU women who continue to get it done at Alico Arena with a big win last night over Central Arkansas, pounding them in the victory. I'm picking San Francisco. David and Trent are picking Kansas City. Pat Kirwan picked Kansas City earlier on the show. If you missed any of the show, go to all the usual places to download the podcast. Have a tremendous rest of your Friday. Enjoy the Super Bowl. We'll be back Monday morning to recap Super Bowl 58 right here on Miller and Moulton.
The law firm of Michael F. Horner specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal